Broadcasting live from the 180 Pros studio, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. It is 6:04. Welcome aboard, everybody. Brian here with you, JP producing. I don't even know what temperature we're starting at yet because I haven't opened my computer yet because I'm running a little bit behind. My apologies, y'all. We got a busy show for you today. Man, there's so much ground to cover. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the Supreme Court. Yeah, we're definitely talking about the carbon sequestration moratorium. And I shall do my best not to get fined by the FCC when we do. But before we get to anything at all, we start off with top stories and trending.
Number 5.
Baton Rouge Community College held a groundbreaking ceremony for the Capital City Construction Lab yesterday at their Mid-City campus. The construction lab aims to enhance both the college's construction management program and skill trades. The college partnered with Lowe's to get this lab built.
Number 4.
The site of the Smitty's Supply Fire in Roseland transitions from being managed by the EPA back to being managed by the company. Smitty's Supply said in a statement Wednesday that they've received site management responsibilities as of 12:01 Wednesday morning.
Number 3.
Governor Jeff Landry said he wants the National Guard to be deployed in Louisiana cities in less than a month. Quote, "I'm hoping that we get them in by November," Landry said. Logistics of how deployments from city to city would look are still being worked out.
Number 2.
Yesterday was the big day at the U.S. Supreme Court, and it's making national news. Louisiana versus Calais is the name of the case. What's at stake? Well, potential changes to the Voting Rights Act. The basic question here is, yes, you have to factor in race when looking at congressional districts, but it cannot be the only factor.
Number 1.
One person's dead after shooting on Greenwell Springs Road. BRPD officials said they received a call about a shooting in the 9,000 block of Greenwell Springs around 6:33 p.m. The shooting happened at the Fade District Barbershop off of Greenwell Springs. Footage from the scene showed bullet holes in the shop's front window. What you got, JP?
Well, a federal judge ordered yesterday that President Trump can't keep firing federal workers during the governmental shutdown. So there's that.
I guess. I mean, sure. Just does it? Okay, here's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make a difference? Furlough them and don't bring them back versus just laying them off now and let them start looking for another job.
Right. That way they don't keep that sense of hope, right?
Right.
Like, oh, I'll just come back. It'll be,
Right? What was that phrase from Ted Lasso? It's the hope that kills you.
That's right. There you go.
No, I just like
solid reference.
If we're gonna cut ties, if we're gonna break it, move on. Let's break it, and move on.
That's right.
Let me. Yeah.
So what? He's temporarily blocked right now, if I understand, right?
Right. He can't fire anybody else.
That's right. Wow. 4,100 layoffs since this. So, yeah. Hey, Diane Keaton's family had revealed the actress's cause of death to be pneumonia.
Pneumonia. Okay.
Oof. She was what? 79, right?
79 years old.
I've had pneumonia.
Yeah.
Like severely. And I know it was tough for me in my early 30s. So I can't imagine being in your late 70s. I don't know. I feel like it could take you out. I feel like
pneumonia could take you out.
I feel it could.
All right.
Oxygen levels kind of low.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. I can't imagine battling that being, in my 70s.
What's your favorite Diane Keaton movie?
Oh, man. Diane Keaton. What was, is it The Family Stone? Was that, oh, man. Is that right?
I don't know.
Hold on.
I know The Godfather and Father the Bride.
Okay.
That's the
solid.
extent of my Diane Keatonness.
That's solid. Yeah, The Family Stone. I like,
What's that about?
Oh, man. Well, actually, in the movie, she had breast cancer. She had breast cancer in the movie.
Okay.
I remember that much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Luke Wilson was in that movie. Rachel McAdams.
All right. Well, you can roll with that one. That one's fine.
Who's the other guy?
The Family Stone.
Craig T. Nelson was in there as well. He played her husband. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Remember that. I don't know why. That's the first one that comes to mind, though.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sad nonetheless. Well, Brian, looks like a handful of young Republicans are in hot water over a text thread that was full of racist and anti-Semitic remarks.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I've seen a couple of different posts about the individual texts themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, these kids need to get booted from anything public very, very quickly, and everyone else needs to know that is nowhere near acceptable.
No, absolutely
Nowhere near
not.
acceptable. And oh, by the way, not representative of the name Republican.
No.
To be sure.
No, indeed.
Now there. Okay, so is there room for the argument that a text thread is a private conversation and offensive jokes can be offensive? Is there room for that? Like I can tell you right now, you open some of my text threads and things can get raw.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're right. Like if,
but is there okay? Here's the question: is there a breaking point for the size of a group text? Like if I'm texting like one or two people,
yeah,
I feel that's private. If there's 15 people in the group text, all bets are off, and I have to assume that that's public. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it'd be the same with social media, right? Like we put it out there, but at the same time, you're right because you're in the privacy of your
right.
That's right.
Social media is the whole public.
Yeah, and I tried looking at it from that.
A group text is like a semi-public. Like I don't know. Well, first of all,
you're not expecting it to go public, at
right.
least.
Right. And some people have very, very dark senses of humor.
Yes.
I don't. Reading a lot of those texts, I can't be told what part is the joke.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm missing a bigger part. Maybe it's an inside joke that we don't know the rest of, but I don't know. Just on the surface, not a good look.
No, indeed.
Yes, Haggai. Context matters. Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Context is key, always.
Rolling up on 611 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We're also rolling up on October 28th. What's coming up October 28th? Supply Chain Baton Rouge. This will be the 5th annual Supply Chain Baton Rouge. It will be, like the last one, at the Crown Plaza Executive Center. Going to run from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Look, it is a one-day conference. It connects growth-minded business leaders with tools, partners, and insights that strengthen Louisiana's role in global logistics. If logistics in any way, shape, or form enters your job description throughout the week, you need Supply Chain Baton Rouge 2025. Where do you go for tickets? Search Supply Chain Baton Rouge on Eventbrite. Supply Chain Baton Rouge on Eventbrite. This year's theme, one day to power your logistics strategy. Breakfast is included. Lunch is included. After party at Tio Hobbies is included. But more importantly, all the latest in the wide and woolly, rough and tumble, never say die world of logistics. Supply Chain Baton Rouge. Oh, crap. I forgot to look up Kelly's cuts from yesterday. There's a guy who hates me on Twitter, and he posted about how I'm a bigot yesterday, and I told Franz to just let it go. So what's Franz do? No, he's not. I've known Brian for years, and he's not a racist. Okay, that's only going to make it worse, Franz. You don't know how this works.
Yeah, you never are ever going to win an argument on social media, or in an exchange back and forth. I mean, it just doesn't happen. Whoever's yakking on the other side of the keyboards is they.
All right, those two Kelly cuts. You need the current stretch of SEC note.
Y'all had fun last night?
No, I wasn't with Franz last night.
No, I mean why?
No, we watched one of the worst basketball games I've ever seen. Mercy was at St. Alphonsus, and it was just girls' heads weren't in it. It happens. There are 3 girls. They're going to clock out once in a while.
Yeah.
We won
13,
like
14
I know.
What are you gonna do?
26-15 the final score. We're a team that normally scores 40.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Really, 8th grade ball, and y'all average 40.
Yeah. We're good. We're very, very good.
My boys team didn't play y'all. We averaged 8 points.
I'm relatively certain we would beat the 8th grade boys. Wow, Diane Keaton had some dog shit movies.
Of course, man. Over the span of
I don't
30,
want to
40, 50-year career? I don't know. There's bound to be some duds.
Well, so y'all know I hated her in The Godfather.
Come on, man.
I thought she was terrible.
Hey, Jane says the Family Stone as well.
Do what?
Jane in the chat says Family Stone. Yeah.
Hey, remember that movie Baby Boom?
Baby Boom.
Arrigo says Diane was in the HBO series Young Pope and New Pope. All right, I'll take it.
Okay.
She was just terrible in The Godfather. Michael, is it true?
But she was supposed to be that way. I mean,
A horrible actress?
No, she played the role exactly like they needed her to play.
It was an abortion, Michael. I'm going to do something stupid. I know it. I know I'm going to do something stupid. It's one of those mornings. 616 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. It is sports time right about now. And right about now, LSU is getting into it. They're getting into the thick of it, the down and dirty when it comes to the Southeastern Conference. Every team in the conference has a gauntlet like this where you just hit a stretch of games that is seemingly impossible. You're coming off of South Carolina, which wasn't, they're not the best, but you got a talent like Lenora Sellers, and you can't slight them. Then you go on the road to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's supposed to be the cupcake, right? Nope, no, check again. They're a ranked team this year. What happens after Vanderbilt? You come home and you've got Texas A&M. Texas A&M, number 4 in the country right now. You'll get a week off, and then you get Alabama. Then Arkansas. Then Western Kentucky is, the last rent to win, as they call it. And then you're on the road to take on a top 15 team in Oklahoma. It's a gauntlet right now. Coach Brian Kelly was on the SEC Coaches Teleconference yesterday, talked about this run in the SEC.
We're in a long stretch here of SEC games. We're going to play 4 out of 6 nationally ranked teams. So, this is the time where, your football team has to be incredibly locked in their preparation and understand what kind of mindset they have to bring each and every week playing in the SEC. So starts this weekend against Vanderbilt, well-coached, disciplined, physical football team. Clark's done an incredible job of building that program into a top 25 team. Have a lot of respect for him and what they're doing, and we're going to have to play our very best.
So last year, Vandy upset Alabama, and LSU beat Vandy, and LSU's defense was doo-doo last year. What's different about this year from Vanderbilt's perspective?
Well, I think that they're a much more confident football team. I think they were feeling their way through it last year. They had some success. They had the big win against Alabama, and that certainly helped them with confidence. But they play with a confidence this year that they didn't play with last year based upon the success that they've had. So not only are they hard to play because of their offensive structure and what they do, they now have a confidence, and that's probably what you see more than anything else.
And that's the part that makes it difficult, when the team believes they belong and then they can go out and play like they belong. Then you have to not just beat them, but beat them into submission to remind them that, no, there's only so much room at the top of the SEC. And is LSU in a position to do that? We will find out 11 o'clock Saturday morning on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. Eagle 98.1's game day begins at 7 a.m. Also, while we're talking a little programming coming up for the weekend, don't forget the Ken Trahan's original Prep Football Report runs 5 solid hours right here on Talk 107.3 FM on Friday night, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Every score, every update, every game around the state. Ken Trahan's been doing this for more than 30 years. So happy to have him on our roster on Friday evening, bringing you everything in high school football. It's Ken Trahan's original right here on Talk 107.3 FM. And, of course, across the hall on 104.5 ESPN, we have Catholic High Football on Friday night. Oh, And one other one. This one isn't on one of our stations, but it is what's going on in town. Southern homecoming this Saturday, 2 p.m. The Jaguars still looking for their first conference win of the season. All right, we got to check the Fox Business Report. After the Fox Business Report, I'll have a look at traffic for you. Haggai Davison for a cup of tech gumbo. We're going to broaden this thing out by an extra segment here, so that's coming up next right here on Talk 107.3 FM.
This is the past 2 years of podcast and all the different places that it's been downloaded from.
Yeah.
Australia is the second most popular location for downloading our show.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I mean, the funny thing, when you get all the way, like, what the hell is somebody in Uzbekistan doing this to me?
Yeah. Well, okay. But, like, did someone just click on something along the way? Or, like, do you have
No,
listening
this-
times?
No,
And
this
the
is
other part that I used to worry about when I was working in inbound marketing was those that have the redirects on where they're actually at.
right, VPNs and things like that. I know, but yeah, this is the only stats that we get. How many people have come back, and the different platforms.
See, if you get to how many people that come back and then break that down by country,
Oh, that would be great.
that would be very, very useful.
But this is as much information as we get.
Yeah.
But Nigeria, Nepal, Serbia. I mean, really? You got other things you should be doing over there. Listening to me.
Yeah, those are the ones I would say is probably,
A random, yeah.
yeah.
Is everybody really talking about the big beautiful bill?
In one way, shape, or form, they kind of are at this point
Fair enough.
because of the shutdown.
Yeah, that's true too.
Good morning, Christy. Welcome in, boo. Oh, crap. I forgot to open up all the traffic stuff. All right, let's head on back to the Talk 107.3 Traffic Center, see what we got going on your interstates this morning. Ooh, it is rough going on I-10. I-10 eastbound coming across from West Baton Rouge Parish. Things are backed up from before Highway 415 all the way across the bridge and continue that way until you get just about to the lakes. And by the way, those spillovers start with the delays. If you're looking at 110 southbound, that's going to start way back by the Governor's Mansion curve. And it's all on 10 eastbound and of course 110 southbound and 10 eastbound. It is a rough go getting over here from the other side of the bridge. We are looking at the advisory says a ramp is closed. I guess that would be by Dalrymple. And then things pick back up before it moves on again. But it is slow going to get over here from the other side. Meanwhile, 12 westbound coming in from Denham Springs, coming in from Livingston Parish. You got your normal volume over there. 10 westbound coming in from Ascension Parish, your normal volume there. Surface streets, there are no accidents to report. Really, our only main problem this morning is that stretch 10 westbound coming across the bridge. And like I said, delays start before Highway 415. yeah. 624 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. JP, hop on the mic.
Yeah.
So you got to see the TikTok dance that goes. This dude started. I don't know if he created the line dance or if it's just like it's his favorite line dance or whatever. But there's a dude, Jalen, I think his name is.
Okay.
And he does a line dance to early in the morning. And every
Really?
day he posts a different video of him and some friends doing this line dance. And they're like in the parking lot of a Lowe's. You'll see him like like by gas pumps. It's like nighttime at a gas station. And they're super country too, right?
That's what I'm talking
No, but it's awesome. But like every single day I get early in the morning in my TikTok feed with these people doing this line dance. And it's just like it started with this one dude, and then there's like a girl, I think her name is Sadie, does it as well. And then there's a whole group of friends, and they're like going from parking lot to parking lot. And it's like, okay, now let's do a line dance over by the fountain, whatever, right?
Oh, man.
So he posted up a video the other day at like some kind of music festival or some kind of festival or something like that. So you see pop-up tents in the background. There's a stage somewhere off in the distance, and everybody at the festival is doing his line dance.
Is this the new Harlem Shake?
It's better because it's the Gap Band.
That's right.
Harlem Shake was a fun little meme
But still,
to
you
a
know,
terrible
that kind
song.
of, yeah,
right.
yeah. Oh, man, this is awesome.
So
I'm gonna
that's
have to
why.
check it out.
That's why when you play that extended version, I'm like, I'm waiting for what I see on TikTok.
I know,
and
right?
then it doesn't deliver. It's just the music.
That's a long intro, by the way, because that's not even the instrumental.
I know.
That's just like,
I know.
I was like,
All right.
really cool stuff.
Yeah. We're at 626 at Talk 107.3 FM. Get an early start on Cup of Tech Gumbo this morning. Let's go. What you say, Haggai? How's it going?
Doing great, Brian.
We've got so much in the prep to cover, but I want to start off with we are now in the 180 Pro studio.
Yes.
This is fantastic, man.
Yes, we've 180 Pros has jumped out there. We're now the official sponsor of the Talk 107.3 studios.
And, of course, sponsoring the show as well and sponsoring my show, your
And the
show.
show,
I mean,
yes.
180 Pros getting their name out there, and the more I learn, the more I like. I had lunch with you and Jacob the other day. Y'all are doing things a little bit differently.
Yeah, we are. We're, the company's been around for a long time, since the late 90s. And we did a rebrand about 3 years ago, and now we're 180 Pros. I've been with the company I'm in the beginning of my third month. So,
Okay.
I'm still learning a whole lot about the company, but my role as the chief operating officer is to help run the company on a day-to-day basis. So one of the things that the ownership wanted was a more robust marketing plan. And so, of course, having the relationship here at Guarantee.
Yeah, let's roll.
Let's roll. I mean, let's see if this radio really does do what we say it's going to do. And so far, it's been good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to hear. Love that on the front end. One of the things that has stood, that is like in talking with y'all and getting to know a little bit as this relationship grows, is I don't get overrun with tech. I get it's more of a people relationship building. When y'all say you're not the IT provider, you're the IT partner, there's legitimacy to that because it's just like the intro to Cup of Tech Gumbo in language even I can understand. And it's not, you're not just barreling over people with like make their eyes glaze over into submission.
The idea is that you're going to get a one-page invoice from us.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get a 4-page invoice that's got every detail that you have no idea what's written on the paper. It's going to say, hey, we're taking care of your computers,
Right.
and everything's good. If your employees are being productive at work, their computers are all working, and everything's good, great. That's what we want to do. It's just that simple.
Okay, it appears so thus far. In that, when you talk about the one-page billing, how important that is, like you're not nickel and diming people to death with line items.
No, we're
and
not.
which
That's I
is such garbage.
in the whole idea that we're going to charge $1.75. We're going to
Right.
we've got to put this fee on there. We have to put that fee on there. We don't do any of that. It's very simplified billing. It's going to be a real nice conversation when we sit down and we talk and do IT reviews with you and about what you want to do with your business, and from an IT point of view, what your goals are and how can we help you achieve all of those things. It's just simple.
It's like if you checked into a hotel and they charged you for soap and a towel.
Yes.
That's what the line item looks like. Once you see the one-page billing, once you see the way you do it right, seeing the other way is like, yeah, this would be like checking into a hotel and having them charge me for the soap.
The whole idea of the name is, so if you're not happy with what you're doing, do a 180.
Do a 180.
And come to us.
Absolutely. We're going to come to you in just a minute, though. We got to check news, traffic, weather. Cup of Tech Gumbo continues next.
I thought Abe did a great job yesterday.
He was dark.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of murder talk. I don't think anybody was ready for that level of murder.
Yeah. I mean,
If you want to kill your husband, I get him because he's been on the show before.
Right.
I understand he's dry like that. But there was a lot of murder.
But that's what, I mean, it's forensic research, cybersecurity forensic research. That's what a lot of what they do. And
Yes.
yeah, he may have, I thought it was funny, but I mean,
I did too. Well, the first two were funny. Once he mentions murder a fourth, fifth, sixth time, it's like, bro, you've got bodies in your refrigerator.
yeah. Troy wants to know if we're putting in better ventilation. No, Troy, we're the IT company, not your HVAC. And besides, I'm not here on Fridays for the cooking segments.
We need an HVAC. We need something to. I want to start cooking in here again. Shit got shut down quickly when you light the ceiling on fire. It didn't actually light the ceiling on fire. The flame got to the ceiling. The ceiling was kissed.
I missed that segment.
Yeah, Josh Abear was in.
Oh, okay.
This was before all this was redone. Like we had the door over there and the wall and like.
Oh, this is way back. In other words.
No. It was round 2 for me, so it was like 2019.
Okay.
Like leading into COVID, I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Way back. Like. Okay. Because wasn't it Jay to put in all of the drapes?
Yep.
We still sticking with that, or
We brought the cooking guy in to do no cooking. Show them revenue, and they will build. Like this is how Moscona built 104.5.
Mm-hmm.
He was a decade in before he got his video studio.
Right.
You start small, you show them wins, you grow from there. Perfect example. Washington Mardi Gras was Dakota's idea. Best idea he's ever had. Love it. And he blew it out on the first year, where they shut us down to the second. They wouldn't send us back because we spent way more money than we made. So for the third year, this was after he was letting us go. I said, here's here's what I want. I want a plane ticket there, plane ticket home, and the cheapest possible lodging while I'm there. I'll make everything else work. I don't need meals. I don't need transportation. Got out, sold 3 sponsorships at $3,500 a piece, and we made money. Come back the next year, same thing over again. Airbnb is right next to the hotel. Not a fancy Airbnb halfway across town where you have to have a $50 Uber to get where you're going. But like, yeah, my Airbnb is like if you go out the parking lot of the Washington Hilton, the Airbnb is literally across the street, and I'm paying for the entire stay. But everybody who stays in the hotel is paying for 1 night. Like so, but now I'm up to where we're probably gonna have 5 sponsors this year
Nice.
at $3,500 a piece to send me. That's it. And like, I don't need a cameraman. I don't need like this.
Probably covering your meals too now.
All of my meals are on the arm. Like all of them are on the arm. I like it's crazy. Like, okay, we're not gonna get. We'll go to. I'll go to like when I first land. Since it's an Airbnb and not a hotel, I'll stop at Walgreens, grab the shampoo, the shaving cream, all the good stuff. And I'll get like a little breakfast, what are the egg in a cup thing, whatever, where you can microwave it. That's literally the only meal I pay for. Everything else is, as I'm there, just hey, come sit. So
Nice.
yeah, the 3rd year back, I added to my expense report my subway pass, my Metro pass.
Nice.
So it's like once our CFO got a look at that, it was like, how come you can do it for this, but you couldn't do it for this? Like choices, man. But once I showed them it was profitable, they were investing more in it. 636 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Quick traffic note here. Shout out to Rodney Mallett, who's always on point. Says I-10 remains closed. We were reporting on that in traffic earlier. Here's why. The contractor had issues again. Some of them are beyond his control. That's like literally what he says. So remember, it was about was it 2 weeks ago or so where the cement that they were pouring, it didn't set in time for them to open up for traffic in the morning. So that's what we're looking at this morning. That's why your drive on I-10 eastbound coming in from West Baton Rouge is slow going. So hopefully that'll work its way through as the morning wears on. In the meanwhile, just be patient, and we're here for you. Haggai Davison for a cup of tech gumbo. Where do you want to start, sir?
Oh, let's start with the bubble, the AI bubble.
Yes, please.
The potential bubble. There's a whole lot of smoke out there that different reportings from lots of different newspapers, not just the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, but also the European newspapers, all their financial reporting. A lot of people are starting to be concerned about how much money is being spent on AI, how all these valuations of these companies are so overly inflated, and they don't have that much revenue or any revenue for some of them. And people are kind of remembering the .com bubble and the real estate bubble in 2009, and they're kind of saying, hey, where's all that money?
Right.
And so, look, I'm not an economist, and I don't play one on radio. I'm just reading the newspapers, reading the websites from all the financial tech reportings, and people are sounding alarms.
So there is a mentality, and it's a generational mentality in Silicon Valley, that a lot of times you don't want to show revenue because once you've shown revenue, you've settled in to where your potential is going to be. There's a mentality, and this goes back to the .com bubble as well, is that take the venture capitalist money, take your angel investor money, and burn through it as slow as you can before you have to re-up again. But you always want to show the potential of more than what's out there. You always want your valuation to outpace everything else rather than any real dollars earned.
Yes, and there's also a saying from Silicon Valley that the reporters they were right on 20 out of the last 4 bubbles.
Yes.
And because everybody's been predicting that the crash is coming, the Chicken Little thing is running around. This is coming, it's coming. And it's not yet, and it's not happening, and things are still chugging along. I'm not sitting here telling you that everything's going to crash. I'm not telling you this bubble's about to burst at all, because I don't know that. I'm just reading a whole lot of articles that are saying, hey, where's all the money?
Right. So the flip side of that is, while you won't see necessarily a bursting bubble, what you probably will see is a lot of consolidation.
Yes, you're seeing that, but you're seeing, here's Microsoft taking $20 billion and putting that into OpenAI. OpenAI taking $20 billion and putting that into NVIDIA. NVIDIA taking $20 billion and putting that into Intel. And all this $20 billion is, everybody's got this $20 billion infusion. And again, people are saying, but wait, where's your $20 billion?
Right. So it's, okay, so when I say consolidation, think of a game of musical chairs.
Right.
Everyone goes in the circle and you just eliminate one chair at a time.
And so what's happening out there? Who's got, show me the money.
Right.
And there's your pop culture reference for the morning.
Jerry Maguire right there.
Show me the money. And yes, there's tons and tons of potential, but all of these data centers that are being built that are very, very expensive to build, even more expensive to operate, and you're going to need money to finish these off, to continue to run them. And whose money are you going, the old Margaret Thatcher line, you're going to run out of other people's money pretty soon.
Yeah.
And when that happens, that's when the bubble bursts.
One of the paragraphs in the article that stood out to me, and mostly because you were nice enough to highlight it for me. OpenAI doesn't turn a profit, but the privately held San Francisco firm is now the world's most valuable startup with a market valuation of $500 billion. It recently signed major deals with chip maker NVIDIA, the world's most valuable publicly traded company, and its rival AMD, and a $300 billion deal with tech giant Oracle for the build-out of future data centers. Like, all of this is built off of promise.
Right. And
at some point, delivery has to happen. Think back to, like, the beginning of Facebook. Like, the seed in the social network. Like, when they didn't want to put ads on Facebook because they didn't know what Facebook was going to be yet.
Right.
So they wouldn't have any idea what to charge for the ads. Now think of where Facebook's at today, a.k.a. Meta, where that's at today. Like,
a gazillion-dollar company.
Right. Right. But a lot of that has to do with pushing the envelope, riding the wave until all the water's gone, and then you plant your flag.
The problem that a lot of these stories are talking about is, okay, when ChatGPT was, everybody's going to go out and get a $20 a month account to do all their ChatGPT queries.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now ChatGPT 5 is free. Okay, how do you make money when you're giving away something free? And Sora's coming along, Sora 2, and that's
Sora's tech is so much better than everybody else's too.
Oh, it's amazing technology. Yeah. And yes, Sora is not free. You do have to pay for your Sora videos that you're creating, but they're not letting that many people create the videos yet. So not everyone can run out and buy or get an account from Sora. So you're limiting your stream of revenue that can come in. And investors are saying, when are you going to open it up and let everybody come dump a lot of money into to pay us back all this angel money and investor money we've been putting into you?
So I'm listening to the Business Wars podcast, and I'm on the episode with Netscape, and it's very similar to Netscape's game plan when they got started.
Yeah,
give it to everybody first. Give it to everybody. Build your database. Build your potential client base, and then pivot. So the then pivot part is the part that I don't think you or I have an answer to.
No, we don't. And part of what's going on, they're wanting people to really start getting hooked into these searches, and then they're going to start selling ads around them.
Right.
The Google model.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people are very much afraid of. Like, oh, okay, so this is just going to become another search engine. They're going to build more profiles around us and sell advertising around the outside of it, and that's where they're going to make the money. This is going to be Google 2.0.
Yeah.
And if that's their long play, okay, that's fine. I'm not in on the boardroom meetings.
Oh, wait, hang on though. Don't think of ads as in traditional ads. Like there's no
right
rail
no.
click here for 20% off at Home Depot. There's none of that.
No, and it's
This
not
is gonna
the
be
500 links.
The information they feed you is going to be based off of who pays them, and that's where it gets nefarious.
Absolutely. And here's the one link, the one true link
Right.
and now that one true link is worth a lot of money instead of being just on the first page of the Google search.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, it's going to be very interesting.
And this all ties back in with, because when you talk about how people are using AI, how people are using like ChatGPT and whatnot, most of it is for answers to questions, like simple questions. And that's where zero-click SEO is gaining ground. And if zero-click SEO can gain ground, zero-click SEM can gain ground. And if zero-click SEM can gain ground, then what you're being fed is not necessarily the best information. It's just the information it's paid for.
Absolutely.
Can we just start over? Like, can we just go, like, wipe the whole thing? Anything electronic, let's just throw it all away. Can we just go back to, like, I don't know, not even 1800. Can we go back to, like, 1600?
Sorry, but the horses left the barn. The barn is burned down, and they built a parking garage where the barn used to
They
be.
built a data center where the barn
They built a data center. Yeah, they built a data center where the barn used to be. Even better. Yes.
Haggai Davison for a cup of tech gumbo. We're due up for a quick break. We will come back and continue in just a little bit. Let me remind you about the great folks over at Breck. Breck.org is their home base online. You know where to find them in real life, which is pretty much everywhere. Hey, at the beginning of this month, Breck launched something pretty cool. It's called their Rapid Response Program. It is a ticketing system to help them fix things in Breck's parks. And this kind of puts the onus on us to be their eyes and ears, which I absolutely love. Because if I'm out at Independence Park and I see, I don't know, a hole in a fence, I can let them know that, hey, there's a hole in the fence at Independence Park. I can let them know by calling 225-310-BREC, 225-310-2732, and it gives them the, oh, yeah, we need to go fix that. It's a rapid response ticketing program. They launched at the beginning of this month. It has thus far been phenomenal, and it gives us a little bit of buy-in with our own park system. Check them out online at Breck.org.
So I don't know if you want to get into
Yeah. 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 It's basically personalized porn. Right. I didn't scroll down far enough. I didn't even. Yeah, it's like literally the last story in here. I'm just now seeing it. I kind of want to talk about it because it is a good topic. Right. Phrasing. Yeah. That's a bigger topic. I was going to goof around about Apple TV. Okay. That's kind of where I was going. And they've got good programming. There's a box? Oh. Okay. The box? It's from the show Silicon Valley. Remember Action Jack?
Hey, in other news, did you guys see that Jim Carrey may get the lead as George Jetson?
Here's
in a
George
new
Jetson.
Jetsons movie?
Potentially.
We're
doing a live
Put
version.
that in trending. Like, what was the third story?
It was
The Republicans.
Republicans,
Yeah, get rid of that one. Put Jim Carrey in.
I think he would make a great
George
George Jetson.
I like him as Dr. Robotnik.
Have I told you about the rabbit hole?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why I felt like
Yeah.
it was probably a good thing to mention because
Yeah.
we talk about that. And
Oh, yeah. But, yeah.
I like him as Dr. Robotnik in Sonic.
He was fantastic as Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah, I
And
enjoyed it.
Dr. Robotnik's grandfather.
Yes, yeah.
I hadn't seen
Oh man,
Sonic.
Sonic, they're good. They got a new one.
I don't have little kids anymore.
2027. They're coming out with the fourth one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I enjoy those movies. Yeah, I saw that yesterday. I was like, what? Pretty cool.
I mean, he's just quirky and goofy enough to where he could be George Jetson on that treadmill at the end.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's good stuff.
Of course, Jim Carrey would be much older than what George Jetson was on the show.
George was
Back
40.
in the 60s.
So, yeah.
And I guess depending on how they would do it, if it would be like a mixture of, live action, or if he's just going to be a voice, or I
No,
don't know.
it's supposed to be a live action.
Oh, really? So it's
Yeah, it's a live action movie.
Yeah,
Is what they were saying in the articles.
yeah, that's what I was seeing too. Fascinating. Really good stuff.
652 Talk 1073 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Cup of Tech Gumbo continuing right now. We got Haggai Davis in for about 7 more minutes. Haggai, there are some really heavy topics we could talk about right now, or we could pivot over and talk about Apple TV. Which one would you rather?
Let's have some fun.
Okay.
Let's stay away from the heavy.
Apple TV they've just changed the world, Haggai. They've changed the world with their rebrand.
They've done as they said in the press release, a vibrant new identity to Apple TV Plus.
Unbelievable stuff.
It is now Apple TV.
Who in that room would to be a fly on the wall in that conference room where somebody said, drop the plus, and everybody else said, brilliant!
The fact that there's already been a device called the Apple TV that you plug, this hardware device that you would plug into your actual TV so you could watch Apple TV. Now you're going to watch Apple TV on the Apple TV because
Via Apple TV.
And it's just a total. This is what's going on with these large companies. They're bored. They
Right.
have nothing better to do. Nobody's paying attention to them. Nobody cares what you're calling this stupid thing. We just want to see the programming. And you think it's important that we care what the name is. It's like the HBO Max, HBO
No, it's
Max.
not- yeah.
Microsoft
And
with all the name changes they're going through, all the with the Copilot everywhere, and stop with all that.
Well, and it seems that every time they do this, they get away. Like, at least Apple TV still calls themselves Apple TV. And they're not trying to come up with some new name. Like, Facebook was the Book of Faces. Like, it's Facebook. Right. It was a face match, and then it became Facebook. Meta, I don't know what that is. Google, we knew what Google was. Nobody knows what Alphabet is. And we've seen it. I'll give you a perfect example locally. And I hate to call them out because they do such great work. But you remember United Blood Services?
Mm-hmm.
At some point, they became Vitalent.
Oh,
I know
really?
what. Yeah, I know what United Blood Services does.
Yes.
I'll go in and I'll donate a pint of blood, and I can help save 8 different lives through that one pint of blood. That's awesome. I don't know what Vitalent means. I know what United Blood Services. I don't know. Like, everybody gets away from their mission when they start trying to rebrand and rename. I know
or
that
when they've been bought by the
stands
bigger
for
company.
home box office. A box office is where you see movies.
Right.
Max? Scherzer? I don't know.
Exactly. Max was the dog in the Grinch.
There you go. Yes.
And
Now, I know it's short for the Cinemax, but that's
right.
lost in the shuffle.
And so when you I just don't understand when you already had a device called Apple TV. And I mean, who ever actually said, "Oh, I'm going to go watch Apple TV Plus. I'm just
Right.
going to watch Apple."
Right.
Everyone, that's all anyone's ever. What you
No.
watching? I'm watching the show on Apple. And
But it's not even that far, Haggai, because you ask you don't say, you don't turn on an Apple Plus channel. I mean, you could go through and scroll through if you wanted to, but for the most part, the shows individually become viral more than the network does.
And why didn't you stay with your naming format? Why not call it iTV? You got an iPhone, you've got an iPad,
yeah.
you got an iMac. Why not iTV?
Boy, that's a really good question.
That would have been rebranding that everyone
Yeah.
could have understood.
Yeah.
That's why they don't let me in the boardrooms
No.
to do these, because that makes sense.
Well, they're figuring out how to drop the plus.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, but like, and the thing is, Apple TV, really good programming. We're on our second Apple TV show now. Ted Lasso was perfect. Oh, by the way, programming note. It's either tomorrow morning or next Friday morning. Higgins is going to be on the show.
Nice.
Higgins from Ted Lasso is going to be on the show. He's got a new movie coming out. It's a Halloween kids movie. It's cute, but we'll have Higgins on as we approach Halloween. But Ted Lasso was perfect. It's just a perfect show from start to finish.
Sure.
Right? And they're coming back for a 4th season now. But Ted Lasso was perfect. I didn't know Ted Lasso's distribution venue when I started watching Ted Lasso. I opened up the little microphone on my TV remote and said, "Find Ted Lasso." And that's how we got into the app. And we already had the Apple TV. We're,
Right.
iPhone customers where we have the Apple and whatnot. And now we're on the morning show. Have you watched the morning show?
No. What about, have you
Ooh.
seen Shrinkage?
Shrinkage?
Or Shrinkage? It's about some psychiatrist in Los Angeles.
No.
Really great show.
Okay. Well, so is it even? It's not in,
Harrison Ford's in it. I mean,
I'm here for it. Let's go.
Oh, it's a real fun show. Really enjoyed it. We're waiting on season 3, I think, to come out.
Okay.
But, yeah.
So the morning show.
Apple TV, not Apple TV Plus. I don't want to confuse anybody. Apple TV is a great platform to watch great content, but you've got to go through the Apple TV, the box, to watch Apple TV, the streaming platform, to see the shows on Apple TV.
But I don't need a box.
You don't anymore.
Okay.
You used to, but so this is where the confusion is.
Yeah.
Why if you're going to name something, make sure you're naming it something fresh and new, not just doing something new and vibrant by dropping the name Plus.
Right. And don't promise me it's something new and it's just you're lying to my face at that point. By the way, the morning show is Jennifer Aniston,
Yes.
and Reese Witherspoon
Okay.
and Steve Carell. Kind of it's the Me Too movement a little bit with Steve Carell's storyline, kind of crossing the streams with who was the Today Show guy? Matt Lauer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It kind of dives into his
Okay.
that loosely based on sort of thing. But they're crushing it. The writing's great and the acting's perfect. So, but what was the one you said? Shrinking?
Shrinking or Shrinkage, something like
All
that.
right.
Somebody will put that in the chat for us and remind me exactly which one it is.
Always on the lookout for more.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get you out of here, and we got less than a minute to go, just the quick rundown of what else is on the show this week.
So Windows 10 is now end of support.
Uh-huh.
Please, if you have an old Windows 10 computer and you can't use it, don't throw it away. Recycle it. We don't need e-waste in our landfills. There's the city. If you live in the city, East Baton Rouge Parish, they're doing a collection out at LSU this weekend.
Aren't we doing something with Rotary for that too?
Yeah, I've got a program where if you've got a Windows 10 laptop that cannot upgrade, if you can reset it, we're sending those laptops to Ghana for kids who do not have any kind of computers in the schools.
Yeah.
Anything along those lines, just don't put it in the garbage can.
He is Haggai Davis. You get a full serving of Tech Gumbo Saturdays and Sundays right here on Talk 107.3 FM and anywhere you get your podcasts on demand. Always appreciate it.
Thanks, Brian.
Here's news. Okay.
Good show.
Yes. Very. Oh, also The Reluctant Traveler is on Apple TV. That's Eugene Levy's travel show. It's okay. Like, it kills time. Basically the point of it is Eugene's like he's cranky about everywhere he goes, and then he learns something along the way and finds a way that he likes it.
Shrinking. Okay.
Shrinking.
So, yeah, Sonny said it's fantastic. Byron said shrinkage, not so much.
I was at the pool. Chandler says shrinking is phenomenal. So, you know what? If we can't make Lake Urgent Care happen tomorrow, we could play back Higgins there. I've forgotten his real name. Oh, but now I got another one. Was it on? Where was Your Honor? Was Your Honor on Netflix? Oh no, Your Honor was on HBO.
Yeah.
Okay.
HBO or Showtime?
Had to be HBO because I don't think I have Showtime. We've got the Max app. We don't have.
It might have been HBO then. I want to say it was. I think we got Showtime just to see that for a little while. Maybe not, but yeah, that was a good show. Watching what's his name start off in Uptown, jogging down past the lake through Mid City.
You drive yourself mad. You and I talked about this. You drive yourself mad if you try and match up.
Yeah, just
where they were versus. So anyway, I got Kofi Jones coming on.
Okay.
The kid that gets killed in the prison cell. So, the one who takes the rap for. It says Netflix. Your Honor, Netflix. Your Honor.
Oh, it may be
Showtime.
there now, but it didn't originate there. It was on Showtime.
Showtime. Okay.
It was a Showtime show originally.
Well, we got it on Netflix. That's where we got it from. Okay.
Yeah, Kimberly's on it. She knows. Good job, Kimberly. I'm so excited about the 180 Pro Studio thing.
I want to get y'all on the window, on the door too. It feels like if we don't put that up there, it's kind of a for those who are walking into the studio, and I know that's not nearly the number of people who will see it up here, but like
No,
I have regular in-person guests, so
and
it feels like it should be there.
Acknowledges that this is the 180 Pro Studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great.
A bunch of people are reacting to my work anniversary on LinkedIn. I don't think it is my anniversary. I think LinkedIn just picked the day.
The first time you made an announcement that just when you started. I get that for the like here next month. I'm gonna get a whole lot of work anniversaries for Tech Gumbo.
Yeah,
because we started in November. We're gonna start our 12th year of the show in 2 weeks.
that's insane, dude.
I've never done anything other than be married to my wife for 12 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just crazy. And for a weekend only show, we're on, I think, 380, something like that. 380 shows in. 370 something. 370 shows, something like that. But it's just because the first 2 years, we were doing only 2 shows a month. We
Right.
do a show, replay, do a show, replay. And so we do about 40, 45 new shows a year now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, I'll be out of town next week. I won't be here.
You and Franz. Okay.
I'll be at a conference in Houston.
Okay. Do you want to fill it with somebody else from 180 Pros?
I'll ask.
Yeah.
Let me ask Jacob. See, see if he wants to come in for it.
I mean, since the partnership is there, it just feels
Yeah.
like that's a natural
Yeah.
slide.
We'll get him some stories to talk about. And,
I'll start putting it. If he wants to do it, I'll start putting it out on like Monday to say, do like an Ask Us.
Oh, wait, I think he's out of town next week too.
Oh.
But I'll have to ask. I'll let you know.
Okay,
Or maybe have Haggai call in. Have my son call in.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll do something.
.705 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, JP producing, starting off your second hour at 61 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge, broadcasting live from the 180 Pros studios. And thanks again to Haggai Davis for a cup of tech gumbo, and for the recommendation there on shrinking. See, always pull a good TV show out. That's why I like to talk streaming. It has nothing to do with the tech and everything to do selfishly with what I can watch. Anyway, we got a big hour coming up this hour. We're going to talk with Liz Smith from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. The most recent Torch cohort is in the books. What does all that mean? We'll talk about it next segment. Crimestoppers coming up at 7:35. 8:05, mark this down. Tommy Faucheux from the Louisiana Mid-Continent Oil and Gas Association going to drop on the hotline. Governor Jeff Landry put out a moratorium on carbon sequestration yesterday. 11-page executive order, super duper long, a lot of over-explaining within it. What does it actually mean? Will it be good for Louisiana? Should Texas be sending us a cookie bouquet to thank us for all the economic development? Because when it comes to this particular field, whoever strikes first is going to win the battle. And if you have a moratorium, you can't strike first. We'll talk with Tommy Faucheux at 8:05. Right now, top stories and trending.
Number 5.
I would be remiss if I didn't start right back with traffic. And once again, shout out to Rodney Mallett with DOTD for letting us know about this last hour. Your delays on I-10 eastbound coming across the Mississippi River Bridge are ridiculous this morning. I would actually recommend if you could hop off. I would say hop off at 4:15 and go take the old bridge to get into town. But once you do that, I-110 is slow going, if not stopped, all the way. I-110 southbound from Choctaw to the 110 merge. It is basically stop and go. The delays continue all the way up to near the City Park Lakes, where overnight closures were supposed to be open back up at 5 a.m. This is something that, as far as the contractor or whoever is doing the construction work, it's something that's completely out of their hands, but slow to open it back up this morning. We will have the latest for you as it does reopen.
Number 4.
Baton Rouge Community College held a groundbreaking ceremony for the Capital City Construction Lab yesterday at their Mid-City campus. So the lab aims to enhance both the college's construction management program and skill trades. They partnered up with Lowe's to get the lab done.
Number 3.
Oh, sorry. Got a text message that made me chuckle. The site of Smitty's Supply Fire in Roseland transitioned from being managed by the EPA back to being managed by the company. Smitty's Supply said in a statement yesterday that they've received site management responsibilities effective 12:01 yesterday morning.
Number 2.
Governor Jeff Landry said he wants the National Guard to be deployed in Louisiana cities in less than a month. Quote, "I'm hoping we get them in by November," Landry said. Now, logistics of how deployment from city to city will look is still being worked out.
Number 1.
One person is dead after a shooting on Greenwell Springs Road. BRPD officials said they received a call about a shooting in the 9,000 block of Greenwell Springs Road around 6:33 p.m. It happened at the Fade District Barbershop off of Greenwell Springs. Footage from the scene showed bullet holes in the shop's front window.
Well, a federal judge ordered yesterday that President Trump can't keep firing federal workers during the governmental shutdown.
But it's his thing.
But I mean,
Has this federal judge never watched The Apprentice? You're fired. Like, he trademarked that phrase. You're fired. Like, that's his thing.
it wasn't.
You
you're
can't have
furloughed.
Donald Trump and not have firings.
That's right. But you're right, though. We talked about it last hour,
We
right?
did.
That false,
I'm making fun, but yeah.
no, but that false sense of security of being furloughed and you thinking, oh, well, I'll just come back. The
Okay,
opportunity's still
And
around.
so that's the bigger part of
Still
this
there.
topic, right?
Right.
Is they can be furloughed during the shutdown, right?
Yep.
But he can't fire them during the shutdown. So as soon as the shutdown's over with, he can go back to firing. I'm of the opinion, let's cut bait and get on with my life. Like if
Right.
I'm one of those furloughed employees and I'm looking at the future and I'm saying, man, there may or may not be a job once this whole thing's over with. Do I sit on my tuchus all day long watching shows on Apple Plus?
There we go.
Nope, because they don't have the Plus anymore. We just learned that in Cup of Tech Gumbo. See? Little callback right there, JP.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that. A rose by any other name is still just as sweet, right?
Don't. Okay.
We'll
We'll
just
roll with
changing
that.
the name. I don't know. Whatever. Hey, Diane Keaton's family has revealed the actress's cause of death to be pneumonia. No, I don't even know how to segue into that. So there we go. There's that.
79 years old.
79 years old.
Pneumonia's no joke.
Man, no, it's not a joke. Yeah, that's devastating. Horrible.
So we were
Yeah.
asking last hour, and what's your feedback over there on a Facebook Live? By the way, we're live on Facebook every single day, courtesy of the folks at Lake Urgent Care. Anything you get on demand from Talk 107.3 FM, the interviews that are repurposed back on our website itself, our app itself, anything on demand via Talk, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, all courtesy of Lake Urgent Care. But we were talking last hour on Facebook Live. What's your favorite Diane Keaton movie?
Yeah, I probably should have done some more deep dives, but I immediately went to the Family Stone.
Family Stone.
The Family Stone. Yeah, I should have went more into a deep dive. I had an hour to do it. But,
The right answer's got to be Annie Hall, right?
okay,
That's
yeah,
kind of the
yeah,
pinnacle of her career.
Yeah,
So she was in all three Godfathers, but you don't call Godfather a Diane Keaton movie,
No.
right?
and I guess that's where my head goes.
Right.
That's more
Plus,
so a Diane.
She's awful in that movie. It's just the whole character development over two.
Oh, man.
Anyway, we'll skip right past that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna go with this little nugget from the '80s. You ready?
Oh, here we go.
Baby Boom.
Baby Boom.
Do you remember
Okay.
Baby Boom?
I don't remember Baby Boom.
All right, so she's
It's
this
probably
corporate
before I
gal
was a
in
baby.
Manhattan, and she has a baby, and she moves out to like Vermont or New Hampshire or some such, and she starts making baby food. And then, of course, because she's a corporate gal at heart, she turns it into a whole business. And then before you know it, her baby food's taking over everywhere.
I could dig it. That sounds like a story I could get into.
All right.
I like that. Hey, keeping with actors, Jim Carrey is in talks to star in the Jetsons live-action movie.
This sounds good.
Yeah, I think so.
He is. If anybody's going to be caught outside the apartment running on the treadmill and falling off, if anybody's
Yeah.
shouting, "Jane, get me off this crazy thing,"
Yep.
it's Jim Carrey.
Oh, for sure.
100%. Now, we do have to go down the rabbit hole very briefly.
Yes,
Okay. You know the rabbit hole.
I do, and we've
Do
discussed
not
it
ever.
several times.
Do you off air?
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever talked about it on air.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Mm,
this is because it's a very dark conversation.
okay.
Do not ever Google the ages of George Jetson, Jane Jetson, and oldest daughter Judy Jetson. You will find that when the Jetsons started, George was 40 years old. Jane, 33. Okay, nothing really wrong there, right?
Right.
Right, okay. Judy, however, is 18. Yeah. I don't know. Do we want to do the math on here and really
right,
open up the calculator?
Right, I know. I'll let people
33
sit with
minus
that.
18 equals 15.
Letting people just sit with that.
I'm sorry, no, sorry, let me flip that around. Judy's 15. I'm sorry, that got really bad. Judy's 15, which implies that Jane had Judy at 18 years old. So if Jane had Judy at 18 years old, it's more than likely Jane was pregnant 17 years old. More than likely.
Not a good
Nonetheless,
look.
that regardless of that, I mean, even if Jane has Judy right before she turns 19, then still you're talking about a relationship between a 25-year-old and an 18-year-old, right?
Ouch. You don't
Which
think they
didn't
put that in
start.
consideration?
Right.
Ooh.
It didn't start when she was 18.
Yeah.
So at some point along the way, oh, how great would it be if the Jetsons were like this, like when they do the live action one,
Yeah.
and they just straight up go dark.
Oh,
And
they break the
George
fourth
Jetson
wall
is
with
like
it.
a predator.
Ooh, wait, whoa.
Whoa.
Wait, whoa. turn for the worst here.
Judy's 15, which means Jane had Judy at 18.
We went there. See,
I know.
we were just trying
I know.
to.
I don't know where to take it now.
Oof.
All right. I've got a live read to do here, and I'm just not going to because I don't think they don't want themselves associated with that segment. We're going to break, come back. The Baton Rouge Alliance for Students is up next.
Start fresh. Thank you for holding. Hi, yes, ma'am. Yeah, we're going to have you up here in just another minute or two. All right, thank you. Oof.
.717 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. The latest Torch cohort has graduated. We're going to talk with Liz Smith from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students in exactly 60 seconds. Need to remind you about the folks over at Neurojust. You can check them out online at neurojust.com. If you want to stop in for a consultation in real life, they're over off Bluebonnet Boulevard. Who needs to hear about Neurojust? Anyone who has been suffering with anxiety or depression and has been thus far treatment resistant. Neurojust specializes in something they call, or that is called, transcranial magnetic stimulation. It's a type of therapy that has been like wildfire with its popularity. It's FDA approved. It's non-invasive. There are no side effects. And the reason it's growing like wildfire is because of that non-invasive nature. Basically, it is the magnetic stimulation helps regulate mood. Okay? If you suffer from anxiety or depression, you already know that the fight or flight battle is constant. And that level of constant fight or flight is exhausting. And that's how anxiety and depression becomes a 1-2 punch that can be debilitative. So check out neurojust.com, Neurojust, neurojust.com. If you've been treatment resistant to the sit-down therapy or the prescription drugs, give them a look, neurojust.com. All right, time to welcome back to the show Liz Smith from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. How are you this morning?
I'm so great, Brian. How are you?
Doing very well as well. The most recent Torch cohort has graduated. Got to start with this. What is Torch and how does it work?
Torch is our candidate and campaign staff training program. So it teaches the specifics of what it takes to run and win a successful electoral campaign and transform Baton Rouge for the better. We've had 30 people that just graduated from the latest training. They are going to go on to help others run for office. Hopefully, some of them will go on to run for office themselves, and they're walking away from this program with the tools that they need to be able to do it fully.
Why is this something that the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students wants to take on and do so regularly?
I think that there's just a lot of work that needs to be done. We all see how sort of vitriolic politics have gotten. Politics are really overwhelming right now. And so we think it is super important that the people who give themselves to public service know that they are not alone. They are given the tools that they need not only to be successful in becoming servant leaders, but then given tools to be successful on the other side once they get elected. The thing that we do, of course, we focus on the East Baton Rouge Parish School Board, and so we spend the most of our time with people who have been elected to that board. But through Torch, we're able to help people who are just committed to Baton Rouge, who recognize that Baton Rouge has so much potential and who really want a better future. We try to cultivate really great people and then make it less scary to run, to win, and to govern.
This program is for the folks that like you mentioned, the servant's heart right there. This is for the folks that know what they want to do but don't know how to do it. But it's also for those that don't exactly know what it is they want just yet. They just kind of have that idea of where they'd like to go.
I like to think of this as a program for people. If you've ever been at like your family reunion or whatever, sitting across the Thanksgiving table, someone has looked at you and been like, you should run for office. And you kind of go home and you think about it, but you're like, oh man, I don't know. I don't want to pick up the phone and ask people for money, or I don't want to walk neighborhoods and knock on doors and talk to strangers. What Torch does is it gives you tools to be able to do those things with confidence. Mm-hmm. It provides a blueprint for each of the actions that it takes to run and win. And so I like to think of it as sort of demystifying what it is to run a political campaign, to really get you the confidence and the tools to introduce you to other people who are going through the same thing, who are like reluctant servant leaders, such as it were.
Right.
And then to introduce you to some of the best campaign consultants, not only in Louisiana, but in the country. We have incredible talent who come and run our sessions, who are advising the most powerful people in the country and who care really deeply about Baton Rouge. And so they give their time to help train up the next generation of leaders.
Which is very cool stuff. And that roster cannot be, think about it, Liz. If you look at, and I don't want to, we're not going to name names of who those consultants are, but on a national level, look how much Louisiana outpunches its weight class politically.
That's right.
We've got the Speaker of the House. We have got we got Steve Scalise's Majority Leader. Our voices get amplified on a national level. We've got John Kennedy, who has more one-liners than anybody in political history. Like we get amplified a lot more on that level, and it can scale down to where, like on a local level, if someone wants to get things done, we have the know-how.
And the same thing that makes you successful running for that office makes you successful running for Metro Council, school board, state representative, and the more local things. And so the secrets are the secrets. And we really like to be able to sort of pull back that curtain for the folks who go through Torch.
We're talking with Liz Smith from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. Speaking of school board elections, they're not too far off.
2026.
What's Baton Rouge Alliance for Students thinking about as we head into 2026?
We have a 6-point policy platform. It's been our policy platform since we launched in 2021. We want to hold schools accountable for performance, expand high-quality options so parents have choices, align district resources to student outcomes. I think this is where we've seen the most progress with the superintendent's realignment plan. We want to streamline enrollment systems so it's not so hard to choose a public school, prioritize educator talent in a really big way with a comprehensive plan for recruitment, development, retention. And then we want to make sure that they are always demonstrating servant leadership. That's so important to us. And we just think there's a lot of work left to be done by this current board. We've still got 15,000 kids who are going to DNF-rated public schools. And as you and I talked about the last time I was on, the number of DNF-rated schools is actually higher if we more accurately rate our high schools. So there is just a ton more work to do. And in 2026, that gives us an opportunity to sort of recalibrate where we've got board members who are super dedicated to this work and where there are some who are maybe taking their foot off the gas a little.
We actually had that conversation with Dr. Cade Brumley about having more accurate testing to determine whether or not the grade scores are commensurate with what the kids are actually learning. And it was I'll use the word noble to jump on that grenade. It's very easy to post up paper scores and say this is where we're at. It's another thing altogether and say, no, we got to recalibrate here because it's not actually getting done.
That's right. That's right. And we're looking for people who are willing to take that kind of hit, right?
Yeah.
So when we think about who are the kind of people that we recruit to run for public office, and in particular, in this case, run for school board, we are looking for people who really think of this service as public service, who are willing to give 4 years of their life to deeply, deeply invest in public service for their community. They are folks who believe that all children are born with the same gifts and potential, and therefore are all capable of learning, who are really invested in Baton Rouge's future, who know how to manage a project from start to finish. If that describes you, then I want you to consider Torch. And I think really importantly, these two things, they see the dignity in every person, and they treat them with respect that demonstrates recognition of their humanity. And they're genuinely curious about differing viewpoints, because we have a really diverse group of people who live in Baton Rouge. And you've got to be able to work with people who don't necessarily see the world the same way as you, but still believe the same way that you do, that all children deserve a great education.
And that's the hard part, too, especially when you look at where the rest of our society is with the polarization. The hard part is that roll up the sleeves mentality, saying just because someone is different from me doesn't mean they're wrong.
Right, right. And I think that folks get really scared. I mean, especially nowadays, it can be very scary to look at the tenor of politics right now and to say, I don't want anything to do with that circus. No thanks. And in fact, when we go out and we try to recruit people to run for public office, we actually kind of prefer it when people say no the first time we ask, because it kind of tells us a little bit about they want to protect their peace. They've got a good life. They're not sure that they want that burden. But we also like to remind them, again, it's really about intense service for your community. It can feel overwhelming. And the reason that we have Torch, the reason that we work so hard with school board members that we end up supporting, is that we want them to know you're not alone. There are a lot of people who are here to help, not only my organization, but the 175 folks who have graduated from our Changemakers program, which you always let us come on and talk about, and I'm so appreciative.
Yeah.
All of these people are in the corner of children in Baton Rouge, which means they're in the corner of school board members who are working for their success.
We got a couple minutes left with Liz Smith from the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. Actually, can we use those minutes to talk about the how, kind of get into the nitty-gritty of how y'all go about supporting people in leadership?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. So, I mean, obviously we work on Torch, right? So we give them those tools, and I would be remiss if I didn't say go to thetorchbr.org. Applications are going to open in November, so keep your eye out for that, thetorchbr.org. But, the big thing that we do beyond helping people successfully run for office is that then we're your backstop, right? So if you're getting elected and you're a school board member, or you're in some other office, we get phone calls from folks who are up at the Capitol and all over the place. And you have an issue that's going to come before you, and you need resources. Like, I don't understand this issue. Can we do a deep dive on it and you can help me understand it? Or I'm thinking about this thing that we want to do here in Baton Rouge, but I want to know how it's working in other cities. Can you find some people in other cities who have implemented it and give me that information? Or even something like, I want to put a motion forward and I'm not exactly sure how to word it. Can you help me brainstorm the right wording for a motion? I mean, everything from the most complex stuff to the least complex stuff. We want to be a resource to the people who want to do it. We also are, I think, just like a gut check. So it is really easy, I think, because doing this work is so hard. It is really easy to start looking for the easy option. And unfortunately, our kids have had enough of people who are choosing the easy option. This is hard work. It's supposed to be hard work. It really does require somebody who's willing to deeply invest in doing that hard work, even if it's just for 4 years. Mm-hmm. And so we are that gut check to say, am I taking the easy option, or am I really sticking to the North Star, the things that I said that I believed in, the promises that I made to my constituents when I ran? And we help people kind of course correct and stay on track for the thing that they were aiming at, when they agreed to run in the first place.
I feel like you're getting somewhere too. I mean, this is, more editorial on my end, but there was a time where watching a school board meeting was one of the most self-indulgent things out there. I feel like we're moving in the right direction, and programs like Torch are just a huge help along the way.
Well, I'm grateful that you say that. I certainly have watched, I feel like, every single school board meeting in Baton Rouge for the last 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that the navel gazing has gone down a bit. And so that's good, right? And I do think there's more transparency than there's been before. The realignment plan, like, we can't express enough how well done it is that we are investing this money that has been saved from having, overbuilt buildings, and buildings that really, anyway, they're reinvesting that $6 million in kids who need it the most.
Right.
And that is huge. That is a huge thing. The superintendent and the school board deserve all the kudos for that.
She is Liz Smith with the Baton Rouge Alliance for Students. I appreciate a couple minutes this morning.
Thanks. And let me add, Shrinking is great. You should absolutely watch it.
It'll be in the queue now for sure, as soon as we're done with the morning show.
Go for it.
All right.
Bye,
Thanks,
Brian.
Liz. Talk to you soon. Here comes news. I gotta get up and move around a little bit. I'm getting too sedentary. Come on over. Right here.
So Brian, where are you from? Okay, cool.
Moved to Baton Rouge for LSU.
Yeah.
Met my wife while I was at LSU. We
Right.
stayed.
Oh,
How about you?
that generally happens. Well, I came from Puerto Rico with the Army.
Oh my.
Yeah, and so yeah, I live here in Walker.
Okay, cool. Um, Don sent me over some stuff, but bullet point for me where you want this to go.
Okay. Let's see what you got.
Oh no, it's all in text.
Well, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, so I want to emphasize on that, especially with our first responders and our veterans, because it's part of my platform.
Yeah.
And suicide prevention. Also, that I work in that field every day
Okay.
as an instructor for the Youth Challenge program, and then we can kind
And-
of just
Pronounce your last name for me because there's two different pronunciations that I know. Vicari or
say it
Vicari? Vicari.
the carry.
Vicari. Okay.
Yeah, that's a norm.
737 Talk 1073 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. You know how we do on a Thursday. It's time for Crime Stoppers. Yes, it is time for Crime Stoppers, and we're taking a different path today. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, and here to speak about that a little bit is Mrs. Louisiana USA. I got that right?
Yeah.
Courtney Vicari's with us. Welcome aboard. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
No, of course. Glad to have you in here. Glad to be talking about this. One of the things I often talk about is how we're nowhere with mental health. We're just scratching the surface of where we could be. So any chance we have to talk about it, broaden out discussion,
Absolutely.
it's a good thing. And I love that this is part of your platform. So I'm going to be very open and just say, when it comes to mental health, you take a particular interest in sharing with the world what?
So mental health, we all know that it's a stigma. It's something that our veterans, our first responders, our law enforcement struggle with on a day-to-day. But it's an opportunity for me, military. I come from military. All I know is military. Also, as an instructor with the Youth Challenge program, to really make an impact with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I fully believe in. I feel very, very near and dear with it. It's something that everybody struggles with on a day-to-day.
Yeah. It's going to feel like an obvious question, but the answer being spelled out is important. When it comes to first responders in the military, why is this that much more important?
So on a personal, and I'll be honest with you, my husband, who's a first sergeant, we've been married for 16 years. We have 2 daughters. And, when he deployed,
Mm-hmm.
and then, at the time of his second deployment coming home, it was different because it was like, okay, now we're married, we have 2 children, things are going to be different.
Right.
So seeing the impact that it makes with veterans and their families, because it's not just the veteran that PTSD, trauma, all of that affects. It affects the entire family. The same thing with law enforcement.
Right.
And as an instructor, I work with the Youth Challenge program here in Carville, I deal with students from 16 to 18, and I see it every day. They come from environments, you name it, I've seen it. But to see them come from a situation of being so broken to seeing them excel,
Right.
it's incredible. And, I tell my students, they get so down on themselves, you have to fail in order to succeed.
Right.
And we all do. And even the strongest people are still battling internally with mental health.
The and Courtney Vicari, the Mrs. Louisiana USA is in with us. We're talking about mental health for this mental health month as part of our Crimestoppers segment. So, picking up on that, it just when it comes to military, especially, you said deployed twice.
Correct.
Where?
Overseas to Iraq.
Okay. Is it the distance? Is it the complete change of mentality and lifestyle, or is it the things they see up close and personal?
It's both. It's both. War is not normal.
Right.
Things that our law enforcement see is not normal. So being able to express them when you come and transition from the military environment over to a civilian environment, it's hard because a lot of them don't know how to transition.
Right.
They feel maybe less than, or in my situation, it was here I am stateside running the house, taking kids, full on mom and dad.
Right.
So having to learn to readapt and then him get reacclimated to that lifestyle after he had been gone for a year, it takes a toll.
Talk about that reacclimation just a little bit, because I feel like there are gaps here.
Okay, so when he came home from Iraq, certain things I would see, for instance, with his PTSD, certain triggers, and he's able to recognize triggers. Same thing as a mental health advocate. I'm able to recognize triggers. I tell my students, I tell people, recognizing those triggers are going to be your biggest things, because then you're able to control everything else that goes on around you.
Yes. That's from his end. Your end is not to be overlooked either.
No, absolutely not. Because on my end, I had a routine. I ran the house. I did things. So having to give him those adjustments back, I guess you would say, like the norm.
Right.
It was also a transition for me because I had done it for so long.
Within that, though, and Courtney Vicari, the Mrs. Louisiana USA is in with us. We're talking about mental health. Within that, though, is you're working through a transition.
Oh, 100%.
He's working through a transition.
The entire family is.
Who's propping up who? Who's supporting whom? Like, how do you, that balance of everybody's got their own, what to deal with.
You get counseling.
Right.
You go to counseling.
And that's where we're going with the whole segment.
You go to counseling, and a lot of people are embarrassed or ashamed because, here we are, we see a therapist or whatever. But I tell them, there is no shame. It's okay to not be okay.
Right.
So here we are 3 years later, and I'm still working with students, and I still am very involved with the mental health aspects. And, I see it on a everyday basic, like statistic-wise. Mental health has grown in the last year, like global issue, by 45%.
Love that.
Yes. Now people are more aware of law enforcement, the things that they deal with, the trauma, the things that they see, first responders, our veterans. So it's an everyday struggle. So getting the resources and things that we need for them, that's a challenge. And 988 is also one of the resources for our veterans as well.
That would be the suicide hotline.
That would be the suicide hotline. It's very confidential. You can text. They have trained mentors for crisis and things that are there 24/7, 365 days.
We're talking mental health in this Crimestoppers segment, kind of a redirect, if you will, for the day, instead of going out and catching bad guys, seeing if we can't help inside the home a little bit. Let's talk, Courtney, if we could, about the law enforcement into this, because when you talk military and you talk deployment, then that's going overseas. That's completely leaving the home and whatnot. It's a different scenario for law enforcement and law enforcement families, because when they leave for tour in the morning or whenever their shift starts, it's the same questions arise as when you send someone overseas. The same trauma happens on the job. Or law enforcement is going to see things that nobody should ever have to see. And like all these things are just the same. It's in smaller doses, but more doses.
100%. And in fact, I'm glad that you brought that up, because I just recently read an article and it said that law enforcement, and it was very interesting, sees about 180 like traumas, like situations before it really starts to affect them. And a lot of them won't speak up about it because they're maybe ashamed or they're afraid, something with work or things like that. But there's an act that was just passed that requires mental health, counseling, confidential, and all of that, like a full assessment. So anytime that, that needs to happen or they need counseling, it's 100% automatic anytime you need it.
Well, and there's this added part with law enforcement that I think is unbelievably important that I don't know that we can. There's an added part that I don't think we'd talk about nearly enough, and that is there's what they've seen, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, there's the danger around the corner, but there's also this part of there's only so much they can control when they're on the job, and only being able to control the controllables, not being able to control the uncontrollables is an unbelievably frustrating end from a job satisfaction standpoint to a life satisfaction standpoint to what it ends up triggering them to when you see bad cops doing bad things.
Well,
I think it pops up, but a lot of it that didn't happen. None of those things happen in a vacuum.
No,
so
absolutely not. And I think that plays a lot into the burnout rate as well.
Right.
A lot of law enforcement, they get burnt out. The same thing with veterans. I mean, they get burnt out. They can only take so much.
There is a shortage of police officers everywhere. We have it here in Baton Rouge. It's down the road in New Orleans. It's literally everywhere. That burnout is a big part of it.
It's huge.
Because a career isn't lasting as long as it should.
You're right.
So what can be done, like feasibly, like really in real time? What can be done to start helping with this?
So I've partnered with several organizations, and there's one that's fixing to give me a national voice. I haven't released that one yet, but I will be doing that soon. And what we're going to be doing is bringing 2 states together to advocate for our military and our law enforcement. But mental health, bringing that, making sure that they're aware, making sure that it's okay, just reiterating it in the workplace is huge. Because a lot of times, too, they are on that burnout thing, the burnout rate, and they carry it home.
Right.
So not only are they dealing with all the BS at work and everything that they see, they're also dealing with it at home. So it's just a mess. But making sure that those resources are there and they're available and they're ready is 100%.
How do we go about making those resources a little more in depth? Because right now we're 1,000 times better than we were.
Sure.
But at the same time, there's there's miles and miles to go here.
So different agencies, I know the state police they have like an app. So you can do mental health check-ins through that. They have the appointments. That's where I told you that act came into place. So anytime, no questions asked, they're available. Most agencies have them. They have crisis intervention too that come in to help assist. With certain situations, depending on the seriousness of it. Military One is another one. And of course, they have the different hotlines too, the 988.
Right.
So all of those, NAMI is another one. Get on their websites. They have them. Huge advocates in law enforcement and mental health. So really coming together and, just getting the word out there, getting to the bottom of this problem is going to be the biggest thing. And that's what I'm trying to do.
What are the biggest hurdles right now?
Making sure those resources are out, making sure that they're readily available.
Okay. Because you can have resources, but if they're not being utilized,
correct.
That's the bridge that we all get bogged down in our own lives. Our day-to-day is the day-to-day. So that bridge is important as well. We've got 1 minute to go here with Courtney Vicari. She's Mrs. Louisiana USA, talking mental health during Mental Health Month. Your closing message to everyone during this Mental Health Month is what?
So it's okay to not be okay. We all struggle with something. We all have issues. We all have a story, but it doesn't define who you are. And I'm a firm believer in that, because what you do 10 years from now or today and tomorrow, it's a start. It's a fresh start. What you did 20 years ago, that's in the past. Right. So it doesn't define who you are in this moment. So it is okay to not be okay. Greatly
appreciate a couple minutes this morning.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. We got Your Money Now coming up less than a minute from right now. Got to remind you about the folks over at Vex European, VEX, that's V as in Vinny. VexEuropean.com is the website. You'll find them in real life on the backside of Industrialplex on Benefit Drive. If you drive a European vehicle, You'll want to pay attention to this. If you drive a Mercedes, a BMW, a Jaguar, an Audi, a Land Rover, you know the list. Check out Vex European. The reason you want to do that is you're going to find a master level technician for your make of vehicle. Jaguar owners, Jaguar Tech. You get it where we're going here. The appointment tab is right there on the website, vexeuropean.com. VexEuropean.com. I use them. I have an 18-year-old Mercedes, and she's still humming, thanks to Vinny and his team over at Vex European and VexEuropean.com. We've got Your Money Now coming up right now. On the back end of Your Money Now, we will check traffic as things should start smoothing out on I-10 eastbound coming in from the west side. After our traffic break, we will check in with JP in This Day in History next. Awesome.
Perfect. So what's up with this European car stuff?
Do what?
What's up with this European car stuff?
I just want the sponsors of the show.
Oh.
What kind of car do you drive?
Well, I have a Buick, but I mean, yeah.
So
but I have Mercedes and Audi.
Vinny, they specialize in European vehicles.
Oh, okay. That's good
So
to know.
they have a Mercedes-Benz technician. They have a BMW technician. You're going to get a
where
tech.
they at?
On Benefit Drive in you know where Industrialplex is at. So go to Industrialplex, you make 2 or 3 turns once you're back in that whole Industrialplex area.
Oh, that's good to know.
But yeah, they're off of Industrialplex. But yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah, because I had a Volkswagen and an
So-
Audi to German Auto.
Volkswagen's not on their list because most people that go to Volkswagen, they're like Europe.
But that's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Audi is on their list. Mercedes is on their list.
I like
They're-
Mercedes better than Audi.
Yeah, it's and I just happen to have
And
like,
it's called
Vex, VEX.
Okay, cool.
It used to be Vinny's Exotics. Like if you needed somebody who could repair a Ferrari instead of having to
go
go to
there.
Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah, he does all the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, the Porsches, the Aston Martins. But his bread and butter is that Land Rover SUV. That it's.
And that's Industrialplex.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to know. Cool.
Outstanding. Thank you much. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Good segment.
Yeah, and we could have gotten into more with more time, but you know how that is.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know. We keep it moving. It's a
You
fast
do
moving
keep
show.
it moving.
It's a
I
fast
love
moving
it.
show.
I love it.
We can have her back.
Okay.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here for
for
it. For sure. Yeah, I'm always willing to. And one of my sponsors is they're called Neurojust. They specialize in anxiety and depression, which is separate from PTSD. But
Oh, totally.
they specialize in something called transcranial magnetic stimulation.
Okay, so yeah.
It's the helmet, and you go in for about 3 dozen sessions, and it's magnetic pulses that help regulate mood.
So I have a friend of mine. She's in San Francisco. She's the chief psychologist over at the Stella Clinic in Chicago.
Okay.
And so now they do the shot, it starts with G, Goblin, and it's a new thing now, but it's supposed to go in. It's essentially the same thing, not magnetic,
Right.
to reset the nervous system.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's in Chicago. But they have some private practices here, like towards New Orleans, like Metairie,
Yeah.
that just started doing it, and they got a grant from the state, and it's still on the works. It's pretty new, to cover the costs for veterans.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's-
and I can send you that information as well.
Sure.
Yeah,
Would love that. Absolutely.
that's pretty cool.
Yep.
All right.
So where you head next?
Well, tomorrow I'm flying to Tampa. I need to do some contractual work there, and then I'll be back on Monday.
All right.
So yeah,
Very cool.
we're always on the go, and you're always on the go too. I see you
Yes.
on your Facebook.
Yeah, we don't sit still very often. I got 3 kids, so
I've got 2. I get it, and they're teenagers, and they're in volleyball,
okay.
so you get it.
Yeah, mine's so my oldest is in college, but she's home for fall break right now.
Yeah,
Middle child is 8th grade, and she's basketball.
mine's 8th too.
And basketball is like we're finally to that year-round part of it. Like
And where do they go to school?
Our Lady of Mercy. The
Oh,
oldest one is
yeah.
oldest one's at Southern
Yeah,
Miss.
we go to Mercy.
Wait, you do?
Yeah. So no, my kids don't. I live in Walker,
Right.
but for mass and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So Richard Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's family. That's my husband's uncle.
Well, that's why I was asking
Tina
about
Grant.
Carrie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all of our people.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to make that
All the
assumption, but-
doctors and the lawyers.
Yes!
That's us.
Yes, that's so. I've known Richard.
Lee Carey.
Yeah.
Frank, all them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our family.
Yeah, you used to play fantasy football,
Yeah.
with Frank.
Yeah.
So,
They still do it
I've
too.
known Richard since my freshman year of high school. He was my 9th grade basketball coach at St. Paul's in Covington.
Oh, really?
And then he was my calculus teacher senior year.
Yeah.
And then when we were looking at schools, when our oldest was going into pre-K, we were looking at schools. I'm like, wait, Richard Grant.
Yeah, that's all my
Same
family.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he still looks the same too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he's still
Absolutely.
like, but yeah,
So,
and
yeah,
then,
I've known Deacon Grant since long before he was a deacon.
and and you know his wife Tina.
Tina
Yeah.
taught Carrie law last year, so. Tina's
Yeah,
best.
so she's the executive attorney over at Lasers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So but she part-time teaches law at
She does.
St. Joseph. So.
yeah, they're all over
Yeah.
the place, but yeah, that's my
Oh, yeah.
people.
Yeah,
Small world, huh?
very much so.
That's awesome. All right, so we're done.
Yeah, we're all done.
Okay. Hey, look, it was a pleasure.
Likewise. Thank
Yes,
you so much.
absolutely.
755 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We've got the latest for you on I-10 eastbound coming in from West Baton Rouge. This was, well, it looks like we're still seeing a lot of delays out there, but you've been hearing in our traffic reports about how there are delays, but they're not nearly what they were before. What we're looking at now are like residual delays, right? I-10 eastbound, like back by Highway 415 in Port Allen, things actually back up a good couple miles before that. Once you get to Highway 415, you're going to find a different hazard on the road. And then it's like lighter delays as you make your way across the bridge. We're in the clearing stages now, but so much volume is out there that you're going to find the backups on, let's say, Highway 1. You're going to find the spillover backups on 110 southbound. But they're working towards getting back to a little bit more normal of a morning. We've got this day in history. Let's go, JP.
All right. Beginning in 1923, the Disney Brothers cartoon studio was founded by brothers Walt and Roy Disney in California, beginning on what becomes the Walt Disney Company. So,
Really?
yeah, good stuff there. 1950, the first edition of C.S. Lewis's The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is released in London.
How about it?
And 1951, 18-year-old Richard Penniman, who was already using the stage name Little Richard, made his first recordings for RCA at the studios. First recordings of Little Richard.
Okay.
Let's see, 1961, Crazy by Patsy Cline is released, and of course written originally by Willie Nelson.
Good
Let's
stuff.
see, keeping it with music, 1962, the first night of a 2-month Motown Records package tour started in Washington, featuring Marvin Gaye, the Supremes, Mary Wells, the Miracles, and a 12-year-old Stevie Wonder.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's
Cuban
a
Missile.
decent lineup right there.
Yes, indeed. Cuban Missile Crisis begins today in 1962.
Okay.
President John F. Kennedy has shown photos confirming the presence of Soviet missiles in Cuba. Also this day, 1972, Creedence Clearwater Revival break up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Broken up since the 70s?
Didn't realize that.
Yeah. Wow. 2013, the United States ends its 16-day government shutdown and avoids default in a bipartisan deal in the Senate.
Glad they could get that done.
Yeah.
Glad there was a time when that could get done.
Oh, man.
What else we got?
Anything else this day?
No. Birthdays?
Oscar Wilde today.
Okay. It's a big one.
Angela Lansbury.
Also a big one.
Yeah. John Mayer as
Yeah.
well. Tim Robbins. Of course, Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, yeah.
Flea, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Suzanne Summers. Didn't I have Suzanne Summers? Wasn't that yesterday? Or was that?
Nah.
No.
I don't
Maybe
think so.
Just okay. And that's what I have today.
All right. Noah Webster, born on this day in 1758. Bryce Harper, born on this day in 1992. And Manute Bol, born on this day in 1962.
Okay. Let's see. As far as deaths go, Barbara Billingsley, Leave It to Beaver.
There's a
Played
bigger one than that.
June Cleaver.
How about Marie Antoinette?
Ooh,
Guillotined
she's
today.
not even in the top 5.
That's the way to
Wow.
go right there.
Man.
Marie Antoinette guillotined on this day in
You're gonna
1793.
go. That's it.
So she gone.
Oof. As far as national days today, what do we want? World Food Day, Conflict Resolution Day, Dictionary Day.
Noah Webster's birthday. It should be dictionary day.
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right. And that is This Day in History is presented by 5 Star Printing and Signs. Check them out online at printshop5.com. I would recommend giving them a call. 271-4096 is the phone number there. Danny and his team, if you have anything printed at all, business cards, brochures, heck, the signage on your wall, if it's not popping, if it doesn't grab someone's attention, give Danny a call. Print Shop 271-4096. Oh.
Tommy Faucheux. Are we calling him?
What?
Are we calling him?
Yeah, we were calling him. You should have his number. Kill my mic. All right. Oh. Oh. 806 Talk 1073 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, JP producing. Starting off that third hour at 63 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Busy hour this hour. We got back-to-back guests. We're going to talk with Tommy Faucheux in just a minute from the Louisiana Mid-Continent Oil and Gas Association. We're going to talk about AI and flood maps with Dr. George Zhu coming up at 8:15, and retired Colonel Lamar Davis at 8:35 for Blue Night Out. Before we get you to Tommy, though, got to remind you one more time about the folks at 5 Star Printing and Signs. Printshop5.com is the website. Tell you all the time about putting your putting your logo on merch, right? Whether you're talking about something as simple as a jump drive or something like a thermal coffee mug, whatever. Being front and center with your brand, with your logo, is unbelievably important right now. That's why Print Shop 5 is there. You really want to be out there with your logo? How about hitting my guy Danny up with the vehicle wraps? Yes, they do vehicle wraps now. Give them a call, 271-4096, 271-4096. If you're looking to make your brand, your logo that much more ever present. Out of sight, out of mind doesn't work. If you want to be a lot more present, think about a vehicle wrap, 271-4096 for printshop5.com. All right, yesterday the governor came out with a moratorium of sorts on carbon capture and sequestration. Here to break that down from the Louisiana Mid-Continent Oil and Gas Association's Tommy Faucheux. Tommy, welcome back. How are you, man?
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
Doing very well on this end. Okay, so this was an 11 to 12, an 11-page executive order. It droned on a good bit. Can you break down what it actually said?
Sure. So I think, clearly it recognizes Louisiana's role as being an energy leader. Talks a lot about, all the great things that the energy industry does for Louisiana, everything from our offshore producers to natural gas producers, refineries, you name it, LNG facilities. It starts by talking about a lot of that. And it also points to the fact that we are at a moment in time where there is tremendous opportunity for Louisiana through carbon capture and storage, as well as other new innovative technologies in the oil and gas and energy space. But then it does go into the current environment of CCS, and it talks about the state's desire to manage resources when it comes to the processing and issuing, evaluating of permits for CCS across the state. It does issue a moratorium on the review of new CCS applications, which is concerning, to say the least. and it talks also about some of the provides some further guidance beyond rules that were already in place that were very, I think, very sound
Yeah.
on the role companies should play in the community when they are going into a parish anywhere in Louisiana to start a carbon capture project.
I liken this executive order to, like, let's go back to the gold rush. This would be like putting a moratorium on pickaxes and shovels. I mean, there is going to be a lot of movement in a very short period of time, and whoever isn't striking while the iron's hot is going to be left behind. Does this moratorium read to you in such a way that is going to promote Texas more than it promotes us?
Look, we never want to see a moratorium.
Right.
We firmly believe, we firmly believe in what the industry does, and the industry has already been moving forward on CCS like it has in everything else we do in Louisiana in a very safe, methodical way. There are community guidelines being provided, but Brian, let me tell you, the companies who are investing in Louisiana are already doing tremendous amounts of work in the communities, whether they're working with the school boards, local community technical colleges, providing safety training for local first responders. Don't be mistaken. A lot of that has already been taking place for the better part of the last couple of years. And so, yes, we issued a statement yesterday after the executive order was issued. I do worry that we're putting in place hurdles that will slow down progress here and give opportunity for those who, quite frankly, were much further behind us, like a Texas, who doesn't even have Class 6 primacy yet. They will most likely by the end of this year.
Right.
And are going to be, I think, ready to seize on that opportunity to start permitting projects. But we have been, I think it's very important to recognize that prior to yesterday's executive order, the industry, the companies who have already filed for permits are already doing a lot of really good work to build the community relationships and make sure that the community's needs are respected and accounted for as they're looking to invest tens of billions of dollars.
We're talking with Tommy Faucheux from the Louisiana Mid-Continent Oil and Gas Association about the moratorium that's put down on carbon capture and sequestration. Tommy, I got to ask you about, so those who have already filed, those who are already asking, this moratorium does not apply to them, right?
That's our understanding.
Yeah, that was the way I read it as well. So this would be for new applications. I want to cross-reference that with the Class 6 primacy that we have. We have a window here that nobody else gets to take advantage of. Are we spoiling that window?
Well, look, a moratorium that slows down or chills investment is not taking advantage of the window.
Right.
I think if you've listened to any of our testimony to the legislature, a lot of the town halls that the companies have been doing, it has been clear. It's why Louisiana is seeing tens of billions of dollars investment and other states haven't, because we successfully demonstrated to the EPA that we were ready for primacy. The EPA gave it to us. The EPA and the Trump administration is doubling down and moving forward to try to get more states the authority to move forward on carbon capture, because why? It's part of the president's larger energy dominance agenda, and Louisiana plays a very significant role in that. And so I think you're going to see going forward a very different reactions from different companies. And look, I mean, we know about those who have already chosen to invest here. A lot of people, a lot of companies are still looking at what they want to do and haven't made those decisions yet. And so, of course, we will see what the impact this has on those future decisions. We have talked, and I've told you this, I know, many times, but I think it's worth repeating. We're in a 100-year evolution of the oil and gas industry in Louisiana. Right. I mean, we just constantly get better. We constantly innovate. We look for new technologies. And with the new technologies, you are doing things safer, cleaner. You're providing new economic opportunities. You're going to parts of the state that haven't always received some of those economic benefits because the industry gets better and is yearning for new opportunities. And we're at a very special moment, but a critical moment when you look at the fact that we do have, at a federal level, just a great umbrella of support from the Trump administration for everything that my member companies and the oil and gas industry does. And but what we're hearing from Washington as well is there is a desire for more. The energy needs of the world continue to grow. The manufactured product needs of, to serve markets around the world continue to grow. And so we have a window. We will see what the impact of this is as we go into the days, weeks, months, years ahead.
We got just 2 minutes left with Tommy Faucheux from the Louisiana Mid-Continent Oil and Gas Association. Talk about the carbon capture and sequestration moratorium. Tommy, this is one where I kind of got lost in the verbiage here. Was there any kind of punch list in the moratorium that gives us, goals to get out of it to where we can be satisfied with the safety of the technology that's been implemented in the last 40 years? We can be satisfied with the level of trust that the federal government has in us and giving us primacy. We can be satisfied with the Trump administration's adoption of the exact same technology. Is there a punch list for us to dig our way out of this?
So there's no sunset date on the moratorium. So I think, and on the executive order, I shouldn't say just the moratorium, the executive order as a whole. There was actually a very rigorous, comprehensive, maybe a better way of putting it, punch list that came as part of the primacy process.
Right.
So, one of these permits is quite large, and the EPA said, look, if you're going to permit this in Louisiana, they have to meet all these criteria. All that stuff stays in existence. What I see in the executive order is providing more suggestions and guidance on how the state will evaluate permits. But there's a very clear set of criteria with, quite frankly, the safety of the public paramount in that that was set forth 2-3 years ago when the state said, we want primacy, we want to lead in this space. And so that all that remains in place, and the companies have been working to meet that criteria from day one.
There's still a lot to unpack as we move forward. We're just straight up out of time for this particular segment. Tommy Faucheux with the Louisiana Mid-Continent Oil and Gas Association. I appreciate a couple minutes.
Thank you, Brian. Have a good day.
Always. You do the same. The conversation will continue. We're going to have a guest on about this. It's not going to overload the show, but we will be touching in on a regular basis as we move forward because there's a lot at stake here. And y'all know this was one of my soapboxes for some time now, is when we get in our own way, Texas beats the hell out of us. Baytown shouldn't be a thing. Morgan City should be Baytown. When we get in our own way, that's when we lose. And it feels like that's what we're doing here. And by the way, there will be conversations on both sides of this issue as we move forward. We've had a couple of different state legislators on talking about their opposition to this. But this is one that a lot of us see the potential here, and then others are asking a lot of questions that I don't know that they even want answers to. They just want to be against it. So we'll keep it going. Right now it's 8:18. We got a break. When we come back, let's talk about AI and flood maps next. that him? I need a pronunciation of his last name when he calls in. Nutmeg. He should be. There he is. 820 Talk 1073 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We ran a little bit long there with Tommy Faucheux talking about the moratorium on carbon capture and sequestration. And honestly, if I want to be optimistic about it, we do have a window. Okay, we do have a window where nobody else has primacy yet. So you hate to burn it, but there is room. There is room to be had. So we'll pick that conversation up tomorrow morning. We're going to speak with Gifford Briggs about it in the 6 o'clock hour. Right now, though, we're going to pivot and talk about AI, flood maps, and how we can make things a little bit better out there to keep us ahead of the curve. Dr. George Shea is with us. Good morning. Welcome aboard. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing very well. Saw a story at NOLA.com a couple weeks ago talking about this. There's a team of scientists at LSU using AI to predict where floods are headed. Walk me through this world of yours and how y'all are getting from point A to point B.
Oh, yes. I think I was on your show maybe 1 year ago, and at that time we made a big breakthrough. Is that we have advanced technology that can forecast some we call compound flooding. So the core of our technology is that we're targeting for compound flooding. So maybe it's first for me to define what is that.
Yes.
So whenever there is a hurricane approaching the shoreline, let's see, Gulf Coast, Louisiana, there will be surge from the ocean side, but at the same time, the water is also falling from the sky. So you can imagine that we have at least two sources of water, and what makes the flooding even more complicated is the interaction between the two, different processes. So I think back in 2019, my team at LSU, we began to build this very advanced, sophisticated, we call it a numerical model or computer model. So you can imagine that we run this kind of simulation, just like the weather forecast, but we provide flood forecast, but this is largely on supercomputers. So typically, for a 72-hour simulation, it takes us 500 computers working together for about 2 hours, so we can generate a 72-hour forecast. So the recent advance that has get a lot of media attention is that we further this technology using AI and specifically a machine learning. So it's a surrogate model. So by training a surrogate model, machine learning model from the numerical or computer model plus the real-time data, we achieved more robust forecast, but also at a much lower computational forecast. So the computational efficiency has been accelerated by 100,000 fold, which means that the expensive computation I just described, 500 computers working together for 2 hours, now can be achieved on any laptop within 4 seconds.
Wow. Wow, that's a ridiculously short period of time right there. And to what level of accuracy do you believe?
We already compare the accuracy, and so traditionally most of the machine learning models, they are built on the computer model,
okay,
which means that the ceiling of the accuracy is going to be the computer model. So for the computer model, as I mentioned, that since we can capture the processes both from the ocean and from the precipitation or rainfall, we already achieved a much better accuracy. But now, when we train the machine learning model, we're using not only the computer model, but also the real-time data from USGS gauge, from NOAA, like National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration's like buoy station. So in that regard, the performance of the machine learning model is better than the computer model.
How adaptive is this to our terrain, our topography, if you will? Does it vary based off of like where you're looking at the modeling? Because we're super different here in Baton Rouge than they are right down the road in New Orleans.
Oh yes. So I think there's the model footprint covers the entire Gulf Coast. So if you log on to flood.lsu.edu, you can see that we provide this 72-hour forecast covering the entire Gulf of Mexico coast. And for our advanced, 2-week coupled compound flooding model, we provide the forecast covering entire states of Louisiana and Texas.
We're talking with Dr. George Shea about using AI to help better forecast flood models and flood maps. Dr. George, I got to ask you, probably the most pressing one is we're coming off the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. Within these AI models, are you able to factor in for, faulty work by man? Rewind back to Katrina, there would be no way to predict what would have happened there if the levees hadn't broken, right? So can this technology take into account that X factor of man's screw up?
Yes, I would not call it screw up. I would call it like different scenarios. So we can in the forecast in the forecast research, what we do is we first validate the model's performance on a handcast. So for example, right now when we train this model, we use Hurricane Ida. That is also a big hurricane. The trajectory looks just like Gustav and Katrina.
Yeah.
So once we have confidence in the model and we feel that the model can capture the dynamics during the hurricane, then we can manipulate with a series of sensitivity tests. So for example, what if there is no levee? So what if the levee wall is twice higher as of now? What if the rainfall is 1.5 times bigger than Ida? All these different kind of sensitivity tests. And then back to the value of the machine learning model is that imagine that 2 years ago, if we get to we have the computer model, if we want to do this test, it's gonna take 500 computers working together for hours and hours. Right. But with this AI technology, with machine learning, now we can achieve this kind of scenario test in a relatively short time period.
With the outlook, you said a 72-hour outlook is what we're looking at here. With that level of outlook, obviously this could be utilized for, evacuating areas, evacuating cities and whatnot. Is there a way to utilize this technology for more advanced planning to build out infrastructure to make areas less flood prone?
That is a great question. I think the platform of this AI or machine learning model, I think the next level is we are collaborating with scientists at LSU Center for Computation and Technology. So they are specialized in virtual reality. So I think there's different layers of AI technology. So what we already achieved is the machine learning. It's just we train surrogate models from computer models. But the very next step is that we are thinking about that we want to put that model simulated physical environment together with a virtual reality environment on the platform of virtual reality. So in that virtual world, you can imagine just a very advanced computer game, right? So we can change things. We can move the location of a drainage, a flood wall, all this kind of manipulation. I think that's gonna be the goal of my group in the next few years.
It's an admirable goal to take on, to be sure. In the meanwhile, great advancements over the last year, and I appreciate a couple minutes this morning, Dr. George Shea from hopping on board. Thank you so much for hopping on board today.
Yeah, no problem.
Absolutely.
Have a good one. Yeah, bye.
You too. We'll talk to you later. Fascinating stuff, honestly, and that's that long-term goal that I think is going to add to it quite a bit. Hey, before we get you the news, got to remind you about the folks over at Mathern's. Download the Mathern's Rewards app today. Away game this weekend. If you were thinking about, and it's not too late to get in on this, if you're hosting some folks coming over to the house to watch the game at 11 a.m. kickoff, do you really want to spend your early morning hours getting the house prepped, getting ready, getting everything out there? Maybe think about a catering tray or two from Mathern's. They have that available right through the app. Open up the app and you will see where I'm talking about. It's one of those first little buttons. It's just to the left of the Shop Online app. Catering, Mathern's does it great. They service so many different people or organizations at LSU, around LSU. They're right there in the Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center directly across the street from LSU. But they're also downtown on 3rd Street, and they're also on Highland Road just west of Kenilworth. If you were thinking about maybe handing off a little bit of the food responsibility for this weekend's game against Vanderbilt, give Mathern's a look and download the Rewards app today. Here's news. Oh, I had to close out Facebook Live for that interview. I think for obvious reasons. There's no way that they weren't completely misbehaving. He said that's a great question, but it sounded like he said that's a Greek caption. My guy's trying, man.
Man, I know.
It's actually a decent segment.
Yeah.
What I could make of it.
I had to keep repeating his name because I was like, I didn't want to mess up
Shia?
the pronunciation.
George Shia?
Shia? Shia.
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 It's like
So I
Jay-Z's
wanna-
laugh.
Yeah.
Shia.
Shia.
His last name is Jay-Z's laugh.
All right. Yes, sir.
Oh, holy
Yes, sir.
hell.
We'll have you up here in just a few minutes. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Matt. Yeah. Okay. So, golly, has it been that long? Or that? Um, Todd and I have been friends for a long time because our wives were friends in high school, and he just happens to be a really good dude. We were out drinking one night, and somewhere it came around like someone said I didn't look like a Brian, I looked like a Dave, and it's just one of those things that if you were there at the time, it stuck. So it has stuck. And I don't think I look like a Dave, by the way. What? Do I look like a Dave?
No, no.
Working with equals paying for. Look at how much money Air Products has donated to LP organizations. They call it being a good neighbor. It's part of the equation, to be sure. But I'm not even worried about Air Products, and I'm not even worried about the jobs created from the carbon sequestration because those are going to be minimal. What I'm worried about is the companies that believe this is going to save the planet and letting them believe that. And we will take their money and their jobs because we can help them on that front. I'm not going to not cash somebody's check. No, no one, yeah, that's right. No one corrected you. But someone else had called me Dave, and that's when you said you thought I looked like a Dave anyway. Or maybe that was the second conversation when I did correct you, and you said, but you look like a Dave. Dude, who knows? We were drinking, and it was 30 years ago. Blue Night Out, combined with National Night Out, is an event that allows community members the opportunity to meet with law enforcement officers out in the wild. Joining us now to talk about this, we got retired Colonel Lamar Davis on with us. How are you?
Hey, Brian. Good morning, and thank you for having me on. I am doing great.
Glad to have you on. I really, really appreciate you giving us a couple minutes this morning to talk about this. Talk to me a little bit about what Blue Night Out and National Night Out, what they actually do in real life.
Well, it starts with our foundation. This is being hosted by the Law Enforcement Criminal Justice Foundation, and simply put, it's all about investing in our communities by providing safer communities and resources to our communities. By joining together, we're joining with our law enforcement partners here in the community to really provide a safe environment so that we can provide some education, some resources, as well as a good time for our community members and our citizens. Our goal is simple: promote safety, celebrate our partnerships, and work within our community to expand investment in all of our communities.
We're talking with retired Colonel Lamar Davis about Blue Night Out and National Night Out. Now, these two things have been separate, but they're kind of running the same path here. Talk to me about the combination.
Yeah, so again, with the Inspiration Center, which falls under our foundation, we've really been promoting an opportunity to invest in our communities. We raised a lot of money, worked with our state government, our federal government, our private businesses to really build a center that's going to provide some investment. But again, what this event is doing this year is we're combining our efforts so that, one, we can bring and bridge the gap between our community and our law enforcement, while at the same time really talking and promoting our investment opportunities there. When we talk about building a stronger, safer community, it's about partnership,
right.
And not just partnership with businesses, but partnership with our communities.
What part of that equation is lacking the most right now?
Trust. We're living in a polarizing society. And because there's not a lot of trust, whether it be at the national or at the state or local levels, that hampers our opportunities and our ability to really work together. So what we're wanting to do is, again, take these opportunities, bring these festivals, bring these events to our communities, build that trust, bridge the gaps, and then from there we can work together to build a safer and stronger community.
Trust is a tricky one there because it takes forever to build and can be destroyed in an instant. When you talk about nights like National Night Out Against Crime and Blue Night Out and the like, when you talk about those, how many gaps can be bridged with a night like this?
And let me tell you, having grown up in the communities that we're trying to affect, just one interaction can serve as a ripple effect for our entire state. Oftentimes, we look at the negative effect when we should be looking at the positive outcomes and possibilities. Just having a conversation with someone sometimes really bridge that gap. Sometimes there's a misunderstanding, miscommunication. Oftentimes, it's just about differences in our past and communities. So, and Louisiana is a bit different. Being the former colonel of state police, our troopers traveled and traversed the entire state.
Mm-hmm.
Every hour you travel, you change culture. And that creates, at times, barriers. But what it also does is create opportunities for us to learn and grow. So as long as we enter those conversations or interactions with a positive mindset, a positive outlook, then it really provides us an opportunity to do so. And that's what Blue Night Out and National Night Out does. It really brings together our different diverse communities in one setting, one place, so that we can take advantage of the live music, the kids' interactions, as well as the business community, our nonprofits and such. This particular event, we have over 50 local business, nonprofit, and government service organizations that's going to be all in one place, coupled with our community. That's an awesome opportunity.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big number right there. We're talking with retired Colonel Lamar Davis about National Night Out and Blue Night Out. We'll get to the details of the night in a little bit, but I just want to stick with just kind of the tenor, the theme, the vibe of these things as they happen. How real do the conversations get? Or is this a lot more like just, I don't want to say glad handing, but more cursory introductions for a night like this and relationships build from there? Or, do y'all take the opportunity to take a deep dive?
It's funny you say that, because this entire initiative, this entire movement was born out of a conversation that I was having with a gentleman with Clay Young there at Southern University. We're talking one day about things that need to change. That led to us really coming together, bringing in other partners, and leading to building a 25,000 square foot building, and right there in North Baton Rouge, where it's most needed. So these conversations are real. And one thing I can say personally, from personal experience, is, the community challenges us. Our community here. They're going to bring it to you. They're going to talk to you straight, and they're going to ask you the real questions. And as long as we're upfront, we're honest, and they're good with the answer, but they also want to be a part of the answer. And that's the misconception oftentimes, is that the community is not a part of the answer. Well, for the community, we're not bringing them in. So this is, again, another opportunity for us to partnership and share that responsibility of keeping our communities safe, but also growing our communities.
I like that perspective. We're talking with retired Colonel Lamar Davis. I like that perspective, because when you bring it back around to the level, the trust being the vacuum here, or the trust being the biggest issue here, a lot of that has to do with there being a vacuum in information, a vacuum in back and forth. Things are going to happen on people's watches, and it's shying away from the conversation that does just as much damage as the actual, wrongdoing. It's stepping up to the plate and saying, this is who we are, and this is who we are, and this isn't who we are. That's a bigger part of the conversation.
Yeah, we have to have those tough conversations, and we have to also be accountable. And when we, again, assert and we really are accountable to, whether it be our actions or others in our community, then I think we get the best out of our community. We already know that we're a resilient state. When storms come, we come to the aid of others. We help each other. We grow each other, and so forth. But it's during those other times when that lack of trust is there. And that's what this community and this organization specifically works on, is building trust, helping to bridge those gaps, reduce those barriers, and strengthen our communities through not only collaboration, but through action. That's the most important part. We can talk about it all day, But until we start to make moves and such, then the community is not going to buy into it. So that's exactly what we're doing here with the Inspiration Center. We're building a building that's bringing in amenities that's going to help educate, help support, and grow our youth and our families. And that's the action part of it. But we're also bringing these events so that we can connect and collaborate, so that we can find out it's not just about us bringing something to a community. It's about sharing and what the needs are of that community and then working together to provide those resources.
Talk about the Inspiration Center a little bit more, if you don't mind, up there at Howell Park on Windward Avenue. Talk a little bit more about, well, first of all, where it's at right now, but where you hope to see it head.
You know, the Inspiration Center is something that's been really in the conversation for over 30 years. The Boys and Girls Club have been trying to get a standalone facility here, and we're very fortunate to be a part of it. We're able to really utilize our resources, again, at the state level, the governor's office. I've got to thank the governor and former Governor Edwards for really buying into this and supporting it. But the Inspiration Center is a multi-use facility dedicated to our community. You know, we're going to use technology, athletics, mentorship, education, and such to bring in our youth, support our youth, and grow our youth. Like I said, sports, we're going to have video game arena, basketball courts, recording studio base for podcasts and other types of activities, meeting spaces, reading lab, learning center, cafeteria. We want to talk about nutrition. We want to really, and this is a partnership. That's the most important part of this entire endeavor and initiative, is that we are working with partners, state partners, local parish partners, city partners, as well as nonprofit organizations and business community. They're all supporting this, whether it be financially or otherwise, to grow our community.
Are we saying, and just kind of picking your brain about this is, I don't know that there's a right or a wrong answer on this one, but are you seeing more of a turning of the tide where you're seeing buy-in from residents, buy-in from the business community? It's no longer a matter of saying, look, law enforcement's job is law enforcement's job, not my job. But we're finding more folks finding a lane in order which to help out.
Yeah, we are, because we're now realizing that it is not just one person, one organization's, or one profession's job to keep our community safe. It's all of our jobs. Right. It's all of our shared responsibility. And I think that's been being seen not only here at the local level, but nationally. We've seen it in other areas. And we also see the tremendous benefit when we share that responsibility, because when you take one organization and that organization is solely responsible for this activity and that organization now needs help, then who's going to fill the gap with regards to that responsibility? By us all sharing in part of that responsibility, we can help one another. And whether law enforcement agencies know it or not, at times they need help, they need support from the community. So it's taking all of us, and I'm glad to see that that tide is turning, that we realize that support is needed throughout.
Okay, give us the details. What's the rundown? Place and time.
Yes, sir. It's going to be October 21st, that Tuesday, from 5 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. at Howell Community Park. For those that are not familiar, it's 5509 Winburn Avenue, the future home of the Boys and Girls Club Inspiration Center. We're going to have live music, DJ. The Kenny Neal family has been gracious enough to really bless us with their entertainment and their talent. So they're going to be playing there. We're going to have kid zones. Breck is doing a wonderful job of providing kid zones with obstacle courses, games, and other activities. We're going to have food trucks, beverages, non-alcoholic, of course, and frozen treats for our local vendors. You know, this is the cornerstone of our community building efforts, and an event that celebrates our unity, our safety, and our shared responsibility. We're truly excited. And again, thank you all for helping us spread the word.
Always happy to help out. Tuesday evening out at Howell Park. He is retired Colonel Lamar Davis. We appreciate a couple minutes this morning. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Always. FlyBTR.com is the website for the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. I'm not going to try and tell you about the direct flight to Nashville to go see the Vanderbilt game, because, that flies out tomorrow. But I will tell you that if you are making plans to go see LSU take on Alabama, They've got a flight built out for that game as well, heading into Birmingham on Friday, coming home on Sunday of the Alabama weekend. Same thing to go see LSU take on Oklahoma, the last game of the season, going into Oklahoma City. And they're here for you everywhere else as well. For example, if you've got business in Washington, D.C., direct flight to D.C. comes home same night. If you want more details on flights, visit flybtr.com. Flybtr.com. In fact, I got to hop on there either today or tomorrow to book out my flights for Washington Mardi Gras. Yeah, it's going to be about that time. So I'm going to make my first stop, flybtr.com. Mary? Oh, shit. No. Oh. I knew you wanted to know. I got to worry about that light being out. Yeah. Just got off the phone with retired colonel from State Police, Lamar Davis. The big National Night Out Against Crime is coming up Tuesday at Howell Park. Home of the Future Inspiration Center. Dude, when's that fucker go? I don't know, man. I don't know. Same time we get a new bridge. Lunch and learn? I didn't think we had a choice. Full time. I'd have a choice. I'm not full time. Well, I don't know. So I'm getting Flynn on my podcast. Fellow guarantees. I didn't know you did one. Yeah, we was at Vince with it. Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about guarantee over the last 100 years and whatnot. Who is this guy? Hey, either way, talent or no talent, it's what it is at 65, man. It ain't getting no better. Nothing you can tell me is going to change me. Right. Hey, those brakes got to be tighter, Richard. What? See, this is where, bro, how many times can they say dick in one spot? Dick, Durbin. That reminds me of when Dick Vitale was ripping into Will Wade a couple of years ago when Jordy Collado was still here. Jordy got Dick Vitale on the morning show. And like every time Jordy would want to like interrupt, and Dick Vitale doesn't stop talking once he starts, right? So Jordy would be like, Dick. So it was just over the course of like a 20-minute interview. I went back and pulled out nothing but the dicks. It was just, so it ended up being like 2.5 minutes of Jordy trying to get a word in edgewise with Dick Vitale. So this was like 2.5 minutes of just him going, dick. It was hilarious. Back in the good old days when I had like room to have fun.
Come on,
dude, the grind, man. We don't do half of what I want to do on this show. Really. This like if the grind weren't what it was, I would be able to do so much more.
Man. So is it that the stakes are a little too high?
What?
Yeah.
No, it's not that the stakes are too high. I think the show would be better if I were to. Problem is, you have this perception of what news talk is supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
And I am not, by my nature, I'm not angry. By my nature, I am, and I say this without ego, I'm funny.
Yeah.
And how to weave that into content without losing the seriousness of the topic.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man.
What did I say we're doing here? 14, 15, and 16. All right. All right, Dan. $8:55, $8:56, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along from the 180 Pros Studios. 180 Pros is your business IT partner. Going to hand off the Moon Griffon here in just a little bit. Before we get you out of here, though, I do want to go back to yesterday's appearance at the Supreme Court, and with a little help from our friends at the Louisiana Radio Network. I will touch on that in just a second. But teasing tomorrow's show, 6:35 tomorrow morning, Gifford Briggs is going to join us. He is a great person to turn to when talking about energy and this carbon capture and sequestration moratorium. It befuddles me. Why spread to the finish line to get primacy to dig our wells if we're just going to slap a moratorium on those wells? Well, why's it got to be under the water and not under the land? It's a mile down. It doesn't matter. It's the air that you and I exhale. Yeah, dude, it's been a soapbox for some time now. And yesterday's announcement from the governor, the 11-page, I think it was 11 pages, the 11-page executive order, really, you heard from Tommy Faucheux from Louisiana Mid-Continent Oil and Gas Association, is what we need right now is action. What we need right now is making sure we beat Texas. And the way things are stacking up, depending on how long that moratorium's there, I don't know that that's going to happen. And history has not been on our side. We have a ridiculous habit of getting in our own way in Louisiana. We believe in our Second Amendment rights solely so we can shoot ourselves in the foot. Been sitting on that phrasing all morning long. Yeah. All right, yesterday was a big day out at the Supreme Court, especially for Louisiana. And after according to the Louisiana Radio Network, 2.5 hours of oral arguments, the Supreme Court's looking like they might be in a position to strike down our current congressional map with the 2 majority black congressional districts. Now, this would kind of go against part of the Voting Rights Act, which aimed to root out racial discrimination at the ballot box. But if you're building a congressional district off of racial discrimination, isn't that exactly what you're doing, regardless of where that discrimination falls? Justice Brett Kavanaugh and Janai Nelson, the head of the NAACP's Legal Defense Fund, talking back and forth about how long race-based remedies should actually last.
Race-based remedies are permissible for a period of time, sometimes for a long period of time, decades in some cases, but that they should not be indefinite and should have an endpoint. And what exactly do you think the endpoint should be, or how would we know for the intentional use of race to create districts? In 2025, it's a good question to ask.
when you look at a congressional map and you see a sliver of Shreveport is actually represented by Cleo Fields, who is right here in the capital area as well. And I'm bullish on the capital area having our own congressperson. Our region deserves that. In fact, each region of Louisiana deserves their own congressperson, not sharing based off of region. Moon's up next. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, guys. I'm a walking zombie this morning, thanks to oh, by the way, if you didn't participate in Where Are We Wednesday last night, that was at my daughter's basketball game. So to the people who respond to Denham Springs, wrong. That was not a Denham Springs yellow jacket. That was a St. Alphonsus Hornet. I was being tricky. I thought most people would respond Denham Springs. So no. Take into context who's likely taking the picture. You know, that should bug you. That's a. You know what you need? You need hugs and bugs. Yeah, right. There's a callback to yesteryear. I miss that dude. All right, we got to get out of here. We'll see you tomorrow.